Hello, and welcome to Chromatic Chimera, where tonight we are pre-gaming for CouchCon this weekend. So, what that means is come on by and see 48 hours or so of awesome TTRPG content by awesome people in our community. All the proceeds, bits, donations, anything you do will be going to Doctors Without Borders to help them out in this time. Other than that, we're going to go right over to the recap. If you need any more information, check out our Twitter or our bio below. It has some handy links that you can donate through as well. Other than that, we'll be right back. Raleigh, I hope you're well, my dear friend. How are things on the Divide? I hope the wars have calmed down finally. Things have been a little choppy here as well. Someone or something attacked the Hagramar Bell. The wrong turns were able to stop the attack. I wish I could have won in myself, but Knock yet again blocked me out. Oh, I probably haven't even told you about the wrong turns, have I? They're a relatively new chapter I took on. Togue vouched for them, and I assigned Adrian to accompany them, and they seem to have grown on her. Anyways, it turned out well in the end. I've been keeping a closer eye on them since they returned to the bookends, though. I like them, but I still feel like they're not telling me the whole story. The biggest news is that they've managed to bring Callan out of his coma. You remember Callan, Adrian's, well, Thane's kid? Adrian's been spending a ton of time with him, and it looks like the little guy wants to become an adventurer of his own one day. Little guy also gets a little frosty whenever he's around King Jack. It's kind of weird if you ask me. Even with everything going on, though, I must admit, it is a little fun watching Adrian being so far over her head. The Wrong Turns recently picked up a new member as well. Her name's Saren. Seems like another wizard type. Bryn and Saren apparently took it upon themselves to teach King Jax the big guy to read Common Tongue. I walked by a few times and it did not seem to be going too well. I haven't seen much of their last member, Blossom, since the bells. She seems to be mainly keeping to herself. From my understanding, she has a lot of personal issues going on, and I try to stay out of it. Definitely something to monitor as long as she's staying here, though. Alright, there's also the Anissa and Shay situation. The Council of Voices sent these two bounty hunters to the bookends to bring the Wrong Turns back to Hagramar for a council meeting. Frankly, it's a little insulting for the council to assume I wouldn't be able to get my own people where they need to be, and that only two bounty hunters could take a chapter by force away from our home. Luckily, the Wrong Turns are agreeable. From my understanding, the Council of Voices just wants to debrief the Wrong Turns and what they saw defending the bell. I don't think the Wrong Turns know how many people they're about to be in front of and the importance of this meeting. I've been traveling with the Wrong Turns towards Hagramar, and it has been interesting to say the least. They're very quick to help people, though. We traveled through Bluefield and saw a burned-down building, and they immediately went to try and lend a hand. I'm glad to see a chapter at work. Tonight I heard some cracking coming from Bryn's pack. I didn't get close enough to see it, but gods, I hope it's not a dragon egg. Could you imagine if it was like an astral dragon or something like that? What a fucking story that would be. Anyways, let me know how things are going, Raleigh. I truly miss our chats. Stay safe. Kit. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that recap, a little foreshadowing from a somewhat important NPC. Tonight, we will give my players the stage right where we left off last week. You are settling down for the night, unrolling your packs, and all of a sudden Bryn hears something cracking from inside her bag. You guys and gals opened it up, and there was a small holographic dragon egg that had split down the center, and a small black dragon with stars on its wings stares looking at you all. Its head kind of tilts a little bit, its forked tongue flicks the air, they stretch their wings a little bit and kind of flex. And the floor is yours.
We have a dragon now.
Apparently.
What?
Did you? I did not know we still had that egg.
I thought we left it behind, maybe?
I kind of
Just
forgot.
collective turn at Bryn.
I forgot there were other things going on.
What do we do with it? I look around and see if Nissa and Shay have noticed.
Oh, also backtracking, Kit traveled with you as well. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Kit's there now. Yep, cool.
Also Kit then. I turned to see if the others not in the Wrong Turns noticed.
Anissa and Shay.
Built in the room.
Anissa and Shay have set up their tent and are inside of it together, and then Kit is kind of like sitting against a tree, and she definitely is crooning her neck in your direction, but she may not see the entire sight of what's going on.
Right.
We should probably do something about baby dragon. Probably could be really bad if we start walking around with, hey, look, got baby astral dragon.
Shut up, KJ. Inside voice, KJ.
Okay, we've got baby dragon. We need to hide it.
How?
How big is the baby dragon?
Oh, it's pretty small. I mean, it's only like a few inches long. It's probably like 4 inches long. It's not long at all.
I'm gonna, I guess, scrounge around in my bag real quick and pull out, like, a piece of, like, jerky ration or something and see if it needs, like, something to eat.
It grabs it and it kind of rips and tears at it for a second, and then it just kind of lays it down.
Alright.
Rip and tear.
Oh yeah, I'll take my cat claws and sort of shred it up into like tinier pieces.
Okay.
It helps.
As you go to kind of reach it down, the dragon has kind of circled around the jerky already and is kind of like very unwilling to give it to you. Eventually, you do manage to like take it, but it does kind of like play bite at you.
Mage hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you get it and you kind of shred it up.
All right, and I'll sort of just like toss the pieces towards it.
Mm-hmm. It starts eating it.
No polymorph, perhaps.
No.
No. Okay, me neither.
Too bad Saren fell asleep early, I guess.
What a shame.
Maybe she has it. I don't know. I can't do anything like that. That hand is about as much as I can fucking do right now, y'all.
Yeah. I didn't sign up for a dragon.
Nobody did.
No.
Is it being quiet right now?
Yeah, it's just scarfing some food.
All right. I'm gonna like pick it up and put it in my bag. We gotta do something with it. Perhaps we could take it to animal control.
I don't think we want anyone to know about it.
Oh, do they run the certain kind of animal shelters around here? The ones that Bulin and I used to get in trouble for arson once in a while?
First of all, right on. Secondly,
an animal shelter is equipped to handle a baby dragon. It's a dragon.
yeah.
Hey, did we say Marsaurus yet?
Oh, beans.
We had mentioned we were gonna like talk to Kit before we had even left, so I'm just kind of. Can we? I don't know. Say we did.
Yeah.
We don't have to. We can still do it, but.
Do you want to go heal his babies? Is that your plan?
Well, maybe Marsaurus can look after the baby dragon. He's a dragon.
Ah!
I mean.
He has other children.
I don't know. I don't even fucking know. I guess we probably just would have let Kit know that at least that Marsaurus was like had like lost his mind on what was it,
Yeah.
Gold Island?
Yeah, we can just say she
We
knows.
locked him in his lair for now.
Yeah, we can just say she knows about that.
I don't know if we would have said we have a bowl that cures all diseases magically.
Yeah.
No, that feels like
Probably
asking
not.
for trouble.
Right? Like, I feel like we want to keep that on the DL. Alright, well, if we got camp or whatever, I guess for now at least, let's just get the dragon in, like, a tent or something so we don't have to worry about people saying it for now. I'm, like, trying to position myself, like, between Kit and dragon, but it's probably not very, like, useful.
Kit seems she's kind of writing like in her journal right now, so she's not really paying a lot of attention, but
All right. Okay. Shit. I don't know. How's it doing in your bag, King Jax?
Oh, how is the baby dragon in the bag?
you kind of feel it like banging against the sides.
Oh, just peachy.
Oh no.
But this is literally like a 1 minute old dragon, so even like it's not even strong enough to get out of your bag, but
Yeah. I know I don't want it to be hurt.
I'm torn because on the one hand, a baby, but on the other hand, astral dragon.
Astral fucking dragon! This is not good. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
Oh, perhaps.
You know, Mom and Dad wouldn't even let me get a fucking pet of any kind. So I mean, this ain't gonna end well.
Look,
I have a cat, but that is not the same thing as a dragon.
I've had a horse. Several. And I have a child.
I mean, that's true. Your hands are full.
Did you just compare a child to a horse?
They're probably the same thing, right?
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
A child is closer to a dragon than a horse.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, they are small, helpless
So-
creatures that need your help to survive.
Yeah. Alright, but seriously, what the hell are we gonna do? We can't. I don't know. If we.
We're not equipped for this.
I have no idea. What? DM, what do we really know about, the lore, I guess, of astral dragons and the setting beyond just, Agora?
As far as you know, there's not another one.
There isn't another one. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, good.
You could probably go research some more on that if you
Right.
are so inclined.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, perhaps
That
we find
helps us in the right now.
perhaps we find a black market pet dealer, right?
No,
I
no.
mean,
Blossom's
Okay.
well, I might know a guy.
oh,
Yeah, Blossom, you definitely know that there's pet shops in Hagermar, so.
And I mean, I know
We
some
cannot-
shady people back there.
Okay, we cannot foist a small dragon off on somebody else.
We will not be forcing it off on somebody else. We'd be giving it to a willing purchaser who would then go and sell the baby dragon for a profit of some. Oh, baby.
Would I?
This
would I
feels
know?
feels so much like Tiger King.
Really bad.
oh no.
Okay,
would I-
Jay.
Would I know what alignment astral dragons lean towards? I mean, there's only one.
I mean, the most important forces of evil combine together to destroy Agora. So if the chaotic evil people of the world are fighting something, probably not great if they're combining with the good forces. So,
Okay, this will be an interesting study in nature and nurture.
yep.
Yep. That's alright. We're all a super animal-friendly bunch, that's for sure.
I am.
We're just like a whole party of mouses.
Listen, we're all responsible.
Blossom's
was
like,
just
are
a
we
bold
dragons
lie.
like whiskey?
We're not responsible per se.
Or
Wouldn't say we're
strictly
responsible.
competent.
Yeah.
All right. Just so I get to have this all clear in my fuzzy mind now. So we saw this egg when we went to the Order of the
Blazin'.
Weave.
Yeah, remember when we were trying to deliver that letter to Blazin' and she was missing?
Yes,
All those green dragon scales.
yeah, because I remember that because I made a pun about smoking.
Yeah, it was a good one.
But so there was egg there. Was that in secret compartment, right? No, and then
Yeah,
And
through the
another
fireplace
plane,
or whatever.
like a planar, like a dimension hidden kind of space, like my portable hole almost.
And we have reason to believe that Blazin had gone AWOL and perhaps was working in concert with the enemy.
Well, I mean, we found her after the bell, kinda. That was who, what's his face, I think, was dealing with at some point, if memory serves.
Yep, Exelion killed her.
And so, perhaps she changed allegiances, and this egg was perhaps a way to bring the
Does
dark
anyone else
forces.
have the very, very bad creeping feeling that this might be a reincarnation of Agora? And everybody else?
Well, that's what I was
Say it out loud.
I was
The world
thinking that.
shakes.
No, I was not alone in that bad feeling.
No,
Well,
you're not alone, and I don't like it.
Well, you just spoiled the rest of the story.
Sorry, King Jay. I'm just kind of freaked out because if that's what Bryn thinks, she's like fucking smart, so it's probably right.
Yeah, but they also have like
She is
no
fucking smart.
evidence for that belief.
I mean, but you're the smart one. You're the one who's read the most. You're the most readed of the group.
Yes,
So
you are the most readed.
It's true. And like, as far as you know, at least, Bryn, there's like no other astral dragons, but
Yeah.
Agora, right?
No, as far as I know, Agora is the only one who has ever existed. And we did find this egg in a secret compartment of someone who switched allegiances to try and break a bell of Agora, which presumably would release her into the world.
That's true.
perhaps
So-
they started to achieve their goal, but because of our meddling intervention, they weren't able to fully bring Agora. So Agora come to this world as baby now. And I hold up little baby from inside my pack.
Wait, like an actual baby?
No,
Oh, no, the baby
one we just
dragon.
saw.
Like
Oh,
the baby dragon.
okay.
Wait, Chris.
Okay.
Was Agora? She was killed or imprisoned? Can you just like clarify
Imprisoned.
the lore?
Yeah, sure. She was imprisoned. It was found that she was sensitive to sounds, so they imprisoned her between 7 separate bells and spread out the bells so nobody had the power to bring her back. And all the bells need to be broken in order for her to come back, basically.
Okay. And as far as we know, none have actually been broken.
You know that at least
right?
not all of them are broken because you saw one that was intact and saved it from
Right.
being broken. So,
Okay. But I know that when that one had like... Oh, okay, that's right. We had heard like the bell or the sound of a different bell potentially breaking. at
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Canelands.
thought
Is
we'd
that
heard
what
at
that
least
was?
one.
Okay.
yep, you've heard one that might have potentially broke, but you know that you saved that one at least. So,
Okay.
with a clutch disarm by Adrian.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was really awesome. Once again,
me.
Adrian's a bamf.
Adrian's just
Feels
saving the
like
world.
forever.
Oh,
One,
so-
one adopted child at a time. Wow. Wow.
Because she's a badass.
Now
So-
we're gonna-
Oh gosh.
if anyone makes a one-handed joke in character,
Yeah,
she will
no,
not be amused.
was... Boss will be pulling that.
So perhaps, Bryn, you're the best at this whole study thing. Perhaps
Yes.
there's probably
Okay.
a big library. We should do more reading about this. Read a little more about astral dragons and why in the HE double hockey sticks we got another one right here with us.
Yeah, I can look into it. Yeah. Is the dragon around the same size as a seal? The cat-sized?
Sure, roughly. I mean, the dragon's
Could
probably
pretend
smaller.
he's my familiar for a while.
Oh,
Oh.
It would definitely pass as a pseudo dragon.
King Jack's just like,
Let's do that.
oh, beans.
Sorry, my love. And I'll dismiss Azil and be like, okay, from here on in, this small dragon is Azil.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, if you...
Hi, Azil.
Hi, Azil Jr. I mean,
We're
Brent,
going
if-
to pretend.
I know you really, like having Azil around. I mean, even if you want to pretend Azil Jr., AJ, let's say, is your familiar, then, I
we
mean,
could
you can
pretend-
still have Azil out and, just pretend it's a cat.
That's true. Or we
Have to
could
be your
pretend
familiar.
that small dragon is Saren's familiar because she does not have one.
That could
Oh.
work.
Good point.
I'm sure she won't mind.
We'll tell her when she wakes up.
Yeah, I'll volunteer her.
Yeah,
So-
she'll be fine.
Most likely.
All
Okay.
right. Well then, so if anybody says anything, it's just AJ is Saren's familiar. Always
Yeah.
had her. Totally fine. All right.
Definitely for sure a normal pseudo dragon.
All right. Everybody, give me your best. Your best. This is my friend's familiar.
This is my friend's magical pet. Not for sale.
Does Blossom believe him? How do you?
I don't know, Kingjax, make a deception check just for fun.
Oh no! Nat 20.
All right. It's a quick study under Blossom's tutelage.
Blossom is very impressed and very proud.
You know, Blossom, I'm a little worried that us hanging out has led to me being a bad cleric of some kind.
Blossom's like rolling a joint, like, I don't know what you're talking about. All
Amazing.
my good influences.
Amazing. All right, so anything else before we hit the hay?
Perhaps we should mention to Kit we're looking for evil secret family stuff.
Yeah, I guess maybe we should figure out exactly what we want to say to the council, because we're probably going to be getting there like tomorrow, right?
And we need to be.
what they're going to ask.
I mean, we know that they wanted to have us, I don't know, debrief them or something about what happened at the Bell, Shay said.
Yeah,
so
We should not
Or
tell
answer,
them about the runes.
That's a good point, because taking another note out of Blossom's wonderful story life book, they might be in on it. They might be a part of it.
somebody
Or
in
at least
Hagram
some of them.
is-
And they will not like that we know or that anybody else knows.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the thing that makes me a little bit worried about telling, and I'll just sort of like, jerk my head gently towards Kit, be like, because, I mean, the chapters were on that map too, y'all. How do we know we can trust her? I mean, I want to, but...
Was Kit's line on the Rune family map thing?
She is not. Nope.
We didn't see her name,
Okay.
at least.
We should still do court record research to make sure that Kit hasn't changed her name at all in the past.
Do you have to like file papers? Can't you just walk up and be like, well, my name's this, and there's no way for you to check
Yeah,
that.
I don't think there's
So
a Social Security Administration in Theraboros that needs to...
Look, okay, sorry, maybe a little bit of my IRL
I was gonna
work life
say,
is
it's-
bleeding in.
I think you could just call yourself whatever the hell you want.
Oh, really? Then I could have.
I mean, that's literally what I did, King Jax.
Oh, beans! I always.
Yeah, like unless you're a noble with a pedigree or something, like you're
No.
fine. Just
Yeah,
call
who
yourself
cares?
whatever.
So I can't be Sir Alpha Schlupenstein?
No, because people can check in if see if you are a sir or dame or princess or whatever.
I mean, I
Oh,
think
being
you
a
should give it
princess
a
would be
try
sweet.
sometime.
I think you would make a wonderful princess, King Jax.
Oh, thanks, Adrian.
Come by on Tuesdays to see our wonderful princesses.
Our excellent princesses.
Okay,
Alright,
just you know, one of the things princesses have to study is penmanship, right?
Oh, beans. Alright, I don't want to be a princess anymore.
Alright, so what are we gonna tell Kit? What are we gonna tell the council? We're not gonna mention the Darunes, so we'll just say,
Let's not
we-
mention the astral dragon either.
oh no, I mean that's what astral dragon? That's
Yeah, that's a pseudo dragon for sure.
Astral
Although,
Dragon. I've never
probably-
seen one.
Although probably we should still try to keep AJ like out of sight when possible, especially for whatever council meeting we got.
Opens bag.
There might be some relative smarties on there who will be able to tell something ain't right. But so alright, so nothing about AJ, nothing about the Darunes. So we showed up with the chapters, which is true. We went through that crazy watery ass temple place
Blossom,
that
do
totally sucked.
you want to mention the fact you made a deal with an arch existence to get through that barrier?
No.
Look, we'll just tell him it was Bulin. It's not really lying.
Yeah, actually, that's a good plan. Good plan.
I
Technically
mean,
true.
frankly, I mean, Kit doesn't know I made a deal with Nock either. Although,
Yeah, okay, that is a need to know basis, I guess.
yeah, I don't really, think it's great to go around advertising that. Plus, I kind of am hoping that'll be a fun little surprise for Auntie Thunder next time we run into her.
Respectable.
I still
But-
wanted on the record that I do not trust Nock as far as I could throw him, and I cannot throw him very far.
I don't
Duly
trust
noted.
Knock as far as I could throw him.
And I mean, that is,
It's
Saying a-
probably significant.
yeah, it's saying a little bit less. But,
I don't
Yeah, I
think I could even pick him up. I am not strong.
I mean, I don't know. He's done nothing but, help me and help us so far. And Kit seems to know him because she wasn't surprised to see him kicking around there or anything. And Boolin knows him. KJax, have you had a chance to ask him anything about what that favor might have been?
I would like to remind everybody that he did open the door in the middle of a siege.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, that was kind of for the lulz, I think.
Well, I didn't.
As the halflings say.
Well, let's see. If we do rest for the night, I can ask Bulin what was with the favor via mental message. But I'm curious too. I've never knew he made a deal with Lawrence.
And I mean, Nock is somebody who does favors for other people more than anything, so...
Oh, yeah,
We
but they
owed
also
KJax
expect
a
things in
favor.
return, though.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, that's why I'm impressed about whatever it is would have happened that Nock would have, owed Bulin a favor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what did he
Yeah.
do?
I
What the fuck
desperately
was
want to
it?
know that story, yeah.
Hell yeah. But,
Sure, I could add it to my normal retinue. Would you think before or after how I became king of the ogres?
I think it might be time to retire that story.
I mean, it is a very good story, King Jax. You know what? Well, I'll help you write a song about it.
Would you really? Oh, that
Sure.
would be. That would really make my day. You're the best.
We can slip some, like giant and stuff in there. It'll
Oh.
be real cool. We'll figure it out.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll workshop it, buddy. Anyway. All right. So, nobody's mentioning the whole like Nock favor thing, but I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't say like he helped us get through that barrier if Kit mentions it. I feel like maybe we should let her take any lead about the bits when she was around, if possible. I don't know.
Yeah, we just need to make sure nobody contradicts anybody else.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So growing up, getting ready to do like theater gigs and stuff, there's this little exercise we did called Yes and.
Yeah.
And we spend the evening playing improv games.
Great.
Some
Park
zip
bench.
zap.
Great use of an evening.
Hitchhiker.
Yeah, there we go. But otherwise, I don't know if there's anything else that we need to think about telling. We don't want to tell anybody about the bowl, right?
Or like the Eclix, I think. I think maybe we should not talk about those.
Oh, that's true. Or I don't know. They kind of
Alright.
do their own thing. It would be pretty awkward if like they come out like when we're talking about them or something, and we're like, "Yeah, I definitely don't have one of these things."
All right, hear me out.
Don't mention them unless anyone asks specifically.
We just don't tell them anything.
I mean, there's no
We
reason
have
to
to tell
like.
them something.
We gotta tell them something. Like, might as well mention maybe the bell is made of Ecrix. That would be interesting if nobody's seen it in so long. That might be something at least to like get them talking about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can mention that. I think we can tell them the truth about the Sky Witch. Thing.
Yeah, I think we can tell them like the truth about the battle at least. Cause
Yeah,
it's true.
and we don't have to lie about the dwarf kings either.
Yeah, I think we just need to lie about everything that we found. I mean, like we can mention like the rope and that gauntlet thingy that you got, King Jax.
Let's just
and-
not mention there was a secret room.
Yeah, exactly.
Works for me.
So what exactly are we telling everybody if there's all these things we're not telling?
About the things we went through getting to the bell and the fight itself.
Okay.
And, you know, pretty much we don't know what that creature was or why somebody decided to attack the bell. And, yeah, y'all, maybe we should try not to mention too much about, like, just should it come up, not mention anything about, like, my family or Thunder.
I very much doubt it will come up, but no, we should
You
not talk
never
about
know.
that now.
Yeah, like, I don't know, if there's somebody on the council who's working with these people, then they're probably gonna know that we're lying, or at least holding stuff back, rather. And
Or they might think we're idiots, like we don't strike people as particularly polite upon first impression. Like,
it's fucking true. Our names were the wrong turns. We kind of set the tone right away there.
That's the plan, you see. It's the hustle. We make them
Smart.
underestimate us, and then whoopah, the wrong turn hits you again.
Have you been watching
Listen, as
crime
far-
plays again?
Yeah, let's do that.
listen, as far as they know, we're just a member of the chapters of brass, just some swords for hire who went and stopped the bell from being broken, and that's all we know.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, are we in agreement then?
I think so.
All right, so the night passes without a hitch. King Jack, every once in a while you hear some rumbling in your pack, if that's where the newly dubbed AJ is sleeping.
You're welcome.
Also, I'd like to send
Oh yeah, okay.
Boolin a mental message. You know, essentially. So, what was that favor you did for Knock? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
You up?
You up.
Oh, King Jax, it is very late, but there are some things I would rather tell you in person, my live brother. Perhaps someday we sit down and we have nice beer over this story.
All right, you owe it to me, though.
I do. I owe you many things.
Also, his name's really Larry?
Isn't that funny? Yes. Don't tell too many people that are out to kill me, but, you know.
Oh, I'd like to see him try.
Exactly.
Well, okay. Well, tell me story later. We're gonna go talk to this council tomorrow, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of these formal events.
You'll be fine. There is a reason that you are my ambassador.
Oh, beans.
Maybe
Well,
smoke. Maybe smoke after meeting.
Whatever you say, live roar.
You're not going to listen, are you? And it like cuts off. Like
You are. You just hear.
All right. So night passes without a hitch. You are sleeping in a relatively dangerous wood, but for whatever reason, nothing happens. You remember that you are quite close to a place called the Oaken Throne, which many of you had visited before, and met Waslane the Druid, and maybe they are looking out for you in some capacity. So you wake up the next morning to the smell of bacon and eggs, and Kit is frying something up on a stone slab. Anissa and Shay are like arguing in the tent, it seems, and you get that much of their conversations are Anissa just talking at Shay, and Shay is the strong, silent type. So the first one that comes out of the tent is Shay, and she's just like shaking her head, and Anissa walks out, all gathered, walks over and takes some of Kit's bacon and just eats it without permission, and Kit just kind of eyes her down with her unnerving, glowing white eyes.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's an awkward breakfast going on.
Yo, I bet on Kit in that fight, just saying.
Kit's a badass.
Blossom will get up and I guess have some campfire coffee. She'll sneak some booze into her cup when no one's looking.
Okay. The ever observant of you notice that Kit is doing the same thing, like over on the other side. She's just not very good at hiding it. She's not very, well, she is dexterous, but whatever. You don't know. She rolls low. So everyone packs up their tents, their bedrolls, and AJ is still in your pack, King Jax. They didn't run away during the middle of the night. And you're good to set out towards Hagermar.
All right, so let's get going. Should we have Adrian like hang out with Saren in case she like starts making noise or something?
Yeah, I mean, he can sit on her shoulder.
Yeah, or at least hang out in her bag. So if he decides to like come out or something.
Yep,
She-
Saren
she-
agrees. Good to go.
All right.
So you finish your journey through the woods. You make it towards the walls of Hagermar. In the distance, you can see the rolling tides hitting the beach, and it is one of the few port cities inside of Hagermar, so it is importance not only in size but location as well. You approach the walls that are familiar to most of you, as a lot of you met here. You met a lot of people along the way, and it's kind of full circle to be coming back. Anissa's walking ahead, skipping her step. Shay is trailing behind, holding her hand, kind of weighing her back. And Kit is just kind of scowling at them from under her hood. It's raining a little bit today. It's not necessarily storming, just a light drizzle. And you make it to the booming metropolis of Hagermar. The streets are as busy as normal. You make it inside the gates, and the interior of the gates is actually a continuation of the woods. They just built a wall through part of it. So actually part of the woods is inside of the city. So you make it through the nice hovels and little hamlets placed between a few rolling hills, and into the district known as the King Streets. It is sunny even though it's raining, and you kind of look up, and the two castles with the large bridge over connecting both of them, very similar to the bookends. It kind of blocks out the sun a little bit. It's so tall. Most places barely have one castle, let alone two. Just giving you the size of this city. You continue on through, and Kit kind of pulls on. Kit kind of separates herself. Separates you from Anissa and Shay as things like people start getting between you and you get pushed away from your friends a little bit. And she kind of separates you for a second and looks back at you. She says, "Look, I just wanted to give you a fair warning that I've been to these meetings before as the leader of the chapters, the Brass Claddon, and they never go great. So just don't say anything too stupid."
What do you mean? Like,
But like, how not great?
Well, the council, the council, there's 11 different individuals on the council, and they all represent a certain sect of the city, and they all have their own jobs, blah, blah, blah. But they're all very opinionated in different ways. Some of them passively, some of them a little more aggressive. So if they call on you, just answer the question so we can go home. I really don't want to be here much. I don't like big cities in general, so...
I'll walk up to Kit all confident,
Okay.
like, don't worry, Kit. This is like old tribunal back at home. Kane Jackson, I got this.
K-Jax,
What? I'm still
try
each others.
and keep her answer to like 1 or 2 sentences. Don't ramble and don't tell them about how you became king of the ogres. They don't care.
I mean,
Well-
they might.
They might actually. It provides context.
of what?
Why I am going to be asking to be referred to as Your Majesty
Oh
in
my
front of the
God.
council.
No.
Oh, I thought they would add some credibility. No,
We do not need any more credibility than we already have. We want them to underestimate us.
Remember how we were talking about, like, nobles have paperwork? That's like one of those things where they would be like, show us some of your fucking paperwork. Or, like, they'll just be angry that you're wasting their time.
Kit rolls her eyes and just walks away. She intentionally gets lost in the crowds.
oh beans. I don't think that really made Kit feel much better.
Yeah, no, I don't picture, giving her a big bit of confidence, but whatever. We saved the fucking bell so she can stuff it.
We did save the bell, and not only that, we're coming here to talk about it. Like, I want to relive the creepy dungeon that we explored.
Yeah, there was a lot of fucking water there, guys. It sucked.
Well, I was
That's like the one thing Blossom I took away from
I was
it.
talking about, that there was like a phantom witch in there, but
Well, yeah, but also that lake.
I love corpses. No.
Oh shit, yeah. Maybe we could mention that. You know, like we can anything about the place. I think is we should
Except
focus
the
on.
secret room.
Oh, and then it turns the printer on by accident.
And then remember, make sure we have a copious amount of using allegedly. That way it can't be put back on us if it's not completely accurate.
Kit looks up. I'm fucking doomed. And she just walks forward. And you cross over the bridge across to the T Streets and then into the King Streets, which is where royalty lives in Hagermar. Royalty in Hagermar is a bit of a fickle situation that nobody quite understands. There's a lot of like barons and baronesses who probably don't actually do anything that somehow have the title. And that's why they have 2 giant castles to kind of live in. So Kit stops and kind of butts up into Anissa and Shay, and Anissa turns around and she's like, well, it was just lovely to have you all, and this has been such a fun adventure, but I think me and Shay are going to leave you here. We are not privileged to the information like all you fancy folks, so if you ever need anything, just let us know. Yeah, pleasure. And she kind of like starts walking away, and Shay just kind of like looks at you, like rubs her bald head a little bit, and just kind of like walks off.
I like wave, and as they're walking away, I'll just like slowly.
Bye!
You can see Anissa just skipping through the crowds, and she just a little pep in her step, and
Oh my god, she would.
She's the worst.
Kit kind of visibly loosens up as they walk away, rolls her shoulders back, and she kind of takes her coat off to display that she is carrying a few weapons. And she's like, all right, good. We feeling good, everyone? Everyone excited for this?
I mean, I think that's putting it strongly, but let's
No,
get it
you were-
fucking over with.
You're just the one who said I don't like these things. You didn't really sell it on me.
Yeah.
Look, I know,
Not
I'm a
the
bad...
best pep talk.
I'm a mercenary. I'm not really a salesperson. Anyways, come on. And we're already late. And she kind of walks through the big set of oak double doors into this. It's more of a mansion, I guess, than like a castle. And she walks in. Very fine golden embroidery along the oak walls and panels. There's actually basically a butler sitting at the front. And Kit walks up and she's like, yeah, well, Kit Meldius, Chapters of Brass. These are the... Oh god, I'm gonna have to say that in front of the council. This is the wrong turns.
Is that fucking concierge?
Yeah. The butler kind of nods and shows her to the right area. You ascend this long set of spiral staircases. This is probably going to be the last opportunity of privacy if you want to say anything else before you go in front of the council.
Just remember, everyone, try to keep it simple and short. And I guess let's try to make sure that AJ's in Saren's bag for the meeting itself, and Blossom will actually disguise self just to make sure her knock mark isn't showing.
Nice.
Just in case he's...
Smart.
Yeah.
Saren pipes up, and I'm actually going to be sitting on my own. I feel like technically I'm not part of the Wrong Turns yet, even though somehow I am, but they see me as an Order of the Weave, so I'll be sitting on my own, but if you need anything, I'll have AJ, and hopefully that'll help.
Alright,
Good luck, Saren.
Yes, you too. I'm sure it'll be an interesting conversation. And they go off and sit down. The rest of you head up the stairs with Kit, and you enter into basically a circular sloping room. In the center is a little circular stage, and along the walls are bleachers. It's almost like a funnel down into the central stage. On one side of the wall, you see 11 empty large oak sturdy chairs where you can assume the Council of Voices will sit. There are tons of people. The best guess, there's about 60 individuals sitting in the stands looking down at the circular stage. And Kit basically tells you as she's entering, they're all very important, please don't disrespect anyone. And she kind of shuts the door behind you all and leads you to the central stage. You wait a few beats, and 11 other individuals dressed for pomp and circumstance walk in. You see 11 different individuals of different races, and you know that they all represent a different race inside of the city. Not every race is covered, but a lot of the major ones that live inside of this town. I can read those to you as well later, but for now, they basically, they give you a seat as well. They don't immediately put you on the center stage. They give you like a seat in the front row on one side, and you see One of the council members, she walks down. She has dark tan skin, and she has a swath of like brown hair kind of flipped over one side of her head. She has some intense like claw marks as scars on the side of her right cheek, and you can see in one eye she's actually blind, and so she is kind of standing there. She seems to be, if the council had a leader, this would be the one. They all respect her and are giving her deference. Everyone in the room quiets down as she kind of takes the stage.
Is she human?
She is, yep.
Adrian is extremely impressed
With her scars.
with this woman in general.
All right, I like it.
There's like she does like that nod of approval. She's like,
She probably gives you a sup nod as well as she kind of brushes by you towards the stage. Blossom, you know this woman to be Nue Grazit. She is a founding member of the council. Her family were the ones who started it, essentially. So her family started this council inside of the city. She is definitely not the council person that is walking around the streets like some of the other ones that you know. But this is not one that you have ever really engaged with. And she stands up into the central stage and she says, "Welcome all. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to make our little chamber meeting." And she clearly has the attention of the room from the first word she says. Everyone kind of nods and like, it's like a pity laugh almost, like it wasn't a joke, but they're like, oh, she's trying to be funny. And so she continues on to say, "Today we have guests from all over. I especially want to welcome Kit from the Chapters of Brass and her chapter that will be talking today." And she kind of nods and waves her hands towards you all. Of course, as always, the Baron from Undercoast, Mr. Elderflower, and she points up to this tall, elfin, imposing figure who stands and gives like a half bow. Baroness Blackwater from Rockford, a woman dressed in all black, a veil over her face, you can barely see her eyes. And many more from surrounding cities. Unfortunately, the representatives from Sharnwick will not be joining us today. They have some pressing matters elsewhere. So,
Of course.
so please, somebody write this down and send them the minutes, essentially. Anyways, I would like to not have any further ado and get right to the source here. Kit, if you could take the stage and prepare your members to speak. Kit kind of stands up, unfurls her dress a little. Even Kit's kind of nervous in front of this woman, even though Kit is towering over her, probably like 6 inches taller than her, 8 inches taller than her. The power struggle is definitely in the opposite direction. And Kit walks onto stage, and she kind of beckons you all to join her.
Yeah, I'll follow. If Blossom recognizes like any council like people from
Sure.
like the ones who do kind of hang out with other people, maybe she like played at a tavern for them or something. She'll just kind of give them like a smile.
There is the woman who represents the tiefling demographic. Her name is Bliss. She is actually a performer in town as well. So maybe you've even played with her before.
Give each other the awkward Midwesterner.
Yeah, just a friendly smile.
Yeah.
The Wisconsin wave.
She is dressed to the nines in a very beautiful dress, and she seems to be taking this almost as a chance to show off her finer things. And she nods to you. She's just decked out in jewelry, this large, way too dramatic necklace on, and she kind of nods to you as well.
I dig it.
And Nue sits back in her throne, essentially in the center. She nods to you all. And she's like, "All right, well, first, please tell us what you've seen. Anything will be helpful." She looks to you all.
In regards to what specifically?
Kit kind of interjects. She's like, "Well, first, let me introduce everybody. I'm sorry, this is terribly rude. A little nervous today, as you can imagine." And Kit's trying to work the room in her own way, less successfully.
All right. I'll spill the beans.
Step on K-Jax's foot really hard.
Ow! Okay, first there was the gate.
Well,
The door.
King Jax, why don't we let Kit finish the introductions? You know, That's
Oh, sorry.
how we do things in, the city. We gotta keep things organized here.
Oh, my deepest apologies. I thought they were trying to get this done as soon as they could when they said, "Oh, we don't want to take up anymore." Anyway, I apologize.
Blossom's like claws just sort of dig into King Jackson's arm.
Well, I guess we'll start with King Jax then. This is King Jax Isifer. He has lots of other names that I'm not going to attempt, but he hails all the way from the continent of Albion, from my understanding. He is a representative of Bulan Yang himself, so it is a pleasure to have you, King Jax, and she's very formal in going on to the next person. Adrian Blackburn, a senior member of the Chapters of Brass. She's been with us as long as anyone remembers or cares to take notes. She has seen more combat than probably anyone in this room combined. No offense, lords and ladies, and she's just awkwardly moving on to the next person. Brenda Winley, wizard extraordinaire, smarter than a whip, perhaps an Order of the Weave member, and she points up and you see Acrelius is sitting in the audience, and a few other Order of the Weave members. And Blossom on the Water, fantastic performer extraordinaire, a very new member of the Chapters of Brass, just like the rest of them. Very indebted to her as well. And she almost mentions something else, but she doesn't. And then she goes on. She's like, and of course I'm Kit Meldius Brasscladden, leader of the Chapters of Brass. Now anyways, King Jax, please go ahead. I feel like you have more of a way with words than myself. And she's just sweating at this point.
Kit, you are too kind. So there we were. We were at this magical gate. We couldn't get in. But then, lo and behold, who shows up? My boy Bulan Yang. So Bulan Yang shows up and he's like, I will get you through this gate. And we got through the gate. And then we were in the... What's the best word? Citadel?
Yeah, we entered a temple to Estisha, I think it was, by, that the five dwarf clans had formed. We made our way through a couple of different layers of levels rather. There was all kinds of traps and creatures filling the space. We found a lot of bodies of dwarves. Seems like we actually found I think we found the remains of the Finding families that were left there, didn't we? There was a gentleman who certainly seemed to be some kind of royalty in one room.
There's somewhat of a hush among the crowd. Or, I'm sorry, people start kind of murmuring when you say that you found the bodies of the royals there.
Yeah. Everything seemed to happen kind of suddenly. In some areas there were signs of combat, and others there weren't. I think we went down, right?
We went down. There was a room filled with gas, right?
Yeah, there was the room with gas. There was there was a room with I think trees it had, and that was where we fought those undead mummy creatures.
Right.
Mummies and insects.
There was actually an alarming amount of undead within the place. There were these sort of mummy creatures that Bryn mentioned here. There was a massive alligator or a crocodile of some sort that was in a pond of water or a lake of water that we came across.
And mind you, Adrian Shieldmon Blackburn herself looked that alligator in the eye and scared it away through sheer menace.
All right, this is all great. Another member of the council interjects, a elven woman. She has dark tan skin. This is Ara, the woman that you met when you first met in the city.
So I say in elven, oh, hi, Ara.
Hello, King Jax. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. And again, very formal. This is all great, and I'm glad that you're telling us as many details as you remember, but did you discover what happened to the bell is the most pressing question.
Well, it's in one piece.
It's intact.
Yeah, it is intact.
Then we definitely owe you our thanks. And she looks down the council line at Nue, the woman who took the stage at first, kind of giving her a dagger glance.
It certainly wasn't exactly, it's not still intact for lack of trying. There was a creature. I don't know if it was an undead or anything. Some sort of magical entity seemed to be trying to break it. It was like hitting the bell and making, the sounds that I don't know if they would have made it this far, but
Well, we did hear them, yes. And she goes on to speak, and Nue actually interrupts her, and she says, "And did you find out what the undead creature was and who is behind this?"
All right.
Real quick, Chris.
Mhm.
While everyone's eyes are on Canejax and Blossom,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to cast Detect Thoughts on Nue.
There
Okay.
you go. Because I was gonna kind of like intently look and like try and insight one of them. See why are we getting cut off? This is like a pretty formal proceeding. You wouldn't just cut me off when I'm trying to give you the graphic details of what went down in there.
Nue, your
Yeah,
surface
what's going on there?
your surface thoughts of Nue is that she is trying to steer the conversation in a way that benefits her.
Can I tell from those surface thoughts what she wants?
No, I'd say you have to probe deeper for that.
Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep focusing on her, seeing what I can glean while everybody else talks. Like, what stuff upsets her? What stuff is she glad to hear us say?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dirty 20.
On Nue as well?
I was actually Ara. I was like, that was really odd to me that she wanted to cut us off.
Ara, your insight check, you might have been over speaking, and she was trying to help you guide back to a way that you would come off clean in this. She seems to be on your side, steering the conversation towards you are all good people.
Okay, so Canejax kind of has that realization, like, oh, this is one of those moments where my friends step on my feet.
Yep, she's stepping on your feet verbally.
And I'm gonna lean over to Blossom a little bit and be like, we're gonna want to follow Ara's lead on this one.
And Canejax and Bren, both of you can get from your insight checks and spells on the other people. The two women do not have a friendly relationship. They are both very stressed around each other and are not happy coworkers.
I was gonna say I could just tell they were being petty with each other, just from the pettiness.
They're being petty. And Nue interrupts Ara and goes on to say, "And did you find out who is behind this? Is there a name, or have you dealt with them? Is there more we should do?"
Does she seem to know what the Darun name is? Does that occur to her at all?
It does not pass her mind at all.
Alright. No, I mean, unfortunately, when we defeated the creature, I think it did seem like it was kind of possibly female. It dissolved into like an ash, so there wasn't really anything left to bring for studying or anything like that.
And nothing else happened after that. That was it. Then you left?
That was it. We had defeated all of the enemies in the space, and the bell was safe, so...
Alright, make a deception check. I'll give you advantage because everyone's kind of helping you.
Canejax will pat Blossom on the shoulder. You got this. And I cast
just very solemn nodding. Yes, definitely.
This did happen.
And that was a guidance, Canejax?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I trust you with my very life, Blossom.
27.
27.
Yeah, 17 plus 10.
Nice. Yeah, okay. She looks on and she shakes...
I'm just smiling at everyone.
Nue...
service face.
Yeah, Nue shakes her head and has a slight smile herself and leans back in her chair.
I think she bought it.
You do, yeah.
Does she seem pleased by this, that we don't know anything else?
She doesn't seem necessarily pleased, but she's not upset either. She's just kind of taking into the thoughts. The name Darun does not pass through her head. There's no real negative thoughts. The only thoughts that are aggressive are like, I just want to get to the bottom of this. You get the sense that she's just trying to do her due diligence as the leader of this committee.
Well, now that I think this whole tribunal is done, I'd love to meet everyone for refreshments, maybe tell you how I became king of the ogres.
I think maybe our bit of the tribunal might be done. There's a lot of people here.
You look up and you see Acrelius. They're kind of like snickering in the back.
They're like, oh man, these fucking people.
Hey, it's a good story. Chill out.
Oh, thanks, Adrian.
There's a few muffled laughs again.
I mean, it is a good story, but maybe later.
There's a
They're
there's a
lost.
lizard folk, a black scales on the end, and he's seated next to a black scaled dragonborn, and they are kind of whispering back and forth on the council. And the lizard folk looks on, and he's wearing this essentially like long cape, and like all these charms and all these tattoos are painted on his body. And he looks down and he sneers wide at Kit, and he's like, "And Kit, you didn't go because you were too cowardly again?" And everyone kind of like, there's a few people that laugh in like the audience. And Kit kind of like grips the edge of one of her cutlasses.
I'm not
Again?
I'm gonna step forward. Oh no, Kit was making sure none of the other besieging giants were going to ambush us from behind. Kit was working just as hard as the rest of us to make sure this whole operation was able to happen.
The lizard folk relaxes in his chair with this big toothy grin.
Wait, did I get any indication from whoever I'm
Nue.
that's the one, of what they meant by again?
Not really of what they meant by again, but just like discuss that this lizard folk is even bringing this up right now in a formal council. And the black dragonborn next to the lizard folk kind of like pats him on the shoulder, like, "Good one, you really got her."
Blossom's making a mental note of like, all right, I'm taking some shit from these fuckers later.
Yep, I'm already.
You do know Blossom. You'd probably know this figure as well. The lizard folk figure is his name is Subanak Sulan, and he is obviously the figurehead for lizard folk. But he spends a lot of his time outside of the city, not actually helping anybody. But the lizard folk people in this town have come to love him so much that they vote him to represent them. So he doesn't. He's like probably the least active member on the council, but just because people love him, he's here.
All right, Blossom's definitely filing this away for later.
And you best believe I'm gonna burn us 5th level slot so we can scry his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I
all
got
right,
plans.
I love it. And then I'll describe the rest of the council members later as well. But for now, they seem. Nue speaks up again. She's like, "Well, thank you, Wrong Turns. I genuinely appreciate your time here, but there is many other people we need to speak with. So if you could please take a seat, we would love to have you stay the rest of the time and hear what everyone else has to say." And
Alright.
Bryn, you get a sense she's being genuine again. All right, so you all take your seats.
Yeah. Blossom wants to try to sort of like keep an eye and see if, I don't know, if she can notice anybody like watching us.
Sure.
You know, like with like, you know, making eyes or something after we're off the stand, like keeping tabs, I guess.
Make a perception check. I mean, definitely all eyes are on the 4 of you right now.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to, you know, like specifically she's looking for like someone who could tell, like, yeah, no, I
Sure.
know you found some shit there that you're not saying. That is a dirty 20.
There's a woman in the very back. She sits alone. Nobody has the gall to sit next to her for some reason. She's wearing a long white, loosely fitting dress and a like headband that kind of beautifully frames her hair in almost a perfect manner. She has a piece of cloth tied around her eyes, and she is sitting alone in the back. And you just get this weird aura of like, I know, from her.
Okay. Does Blossom recognize her as like a council member or anybody she might
You
have
do
heard
not.
of her? Okay.
You've never seen this individual. Yeah, so Nue says, "All right, the first up is Red Skies. Please talk about what happened." And you see this, he's a red Aarakocra gentleman, and he stands up and he takes the stage, and he's like, "Thank you for everyone for allowing me to speak for a while. For those of you who do not know, I am Red Skies of Red Sky Watch. The skies broke above us the night before last. We fought back red-scaled creatures from other worlds, and our intellectuals are studying their bodies as we speak. That is all to report from Red Sky." And Red Sky sits back down in the front row, very close to you all. You see a Kenku gentleman. This is Quill. Not that any of you know him, but just from a meta sense, I guess you know him. This is Quill. This is Saren's teacher, I guess. He's an old. His black feathers are fading to gray, and half of his beak is kind of torn off. And he sits up. He's like, well, as most of you know, the Order's library was sucked into a rift to the Feywild the day before last. We hired a few, well, proven mercenaries to accompany my very own apprentice, Saren. And he points up to Saren, and he just has so much pride in his eyes. And he looks back, and he's like, anyways, they were successful in returning the library, and reportedly did battle with a king of the Fey. Anyways, I will be... regarding Saren, I will be awarding her with anything she wants. She saved us, and I believe this is a big step for her in her apprenticeship. And he just goes on rambling about how like proud he is of Saren. And before like Saren gets up and like takes him to a seat, the next person to come up is Baron Elderflower, the tall, imposing elven figure. He is probably the tallest person in the room by far, even against Kangjax. He's like impossibly tall. Like he's so skinny and so tall, it's very strange. He's just this really weird-looking individual. He gets up. He says, "Undercoast was exposed to rapid swells and chaos storms, dropping water elementals right on top of us. We had several casualties, but things are better now. The Undercoast tide has quelled." He thanks the council. He steps down. Last person, Baroness Blackwater from Rockford. 3 rifts opened upon us as well, unleashing undead horrors beyond anyone's imagination. Many casualties. We were not as prepared for war as Undercoast was. She sits back down. Nue steps up. And she says, "And what of you?" And she points to the woman with the white cloth tied around her eyes in the top row.
I'm writing all of this down, by the way, to add to my conspiracy board.
Okay. The woman in the white cloth, she stands up, but she does not come down to the stage like the rest of you were indicated that you needed to. Says, "Many villages dealt with this. However, powerful allies were nowhere to be found. It is my understanding that the chapters have a brass dragon that was not around for this fight." And she looks like she moves her head towards Kit and you 5. She sits back down and crosses her legs. And there's like a beat of silence like throughout the whole chamber. Nue steps up. She says, "I beseech you all to only share what was said here with only your most trusted advisors. The gravity of this is potentially world-changing. We will all need to be prepared for what happens next. Arm your soldiers, send them to smaller villages. We have no way to tell where these rifts will appear or when, and if they will stop, and small towns will need our help. If you are a town with a powerful entity that did not come to your aid, please contact them so we can tally the resources on the side of good. For those cities who did not send a representative or who are not part of our council, please watch them with care, as we cannot trust them either. That is all for today. Again, thank you, Wrong Turns. Thank you for all who made the journey. And I bid you adieu." And she steps out and she just walks straight out of the chamber like she has something better to do. And that is the council meeting.
Oh, that wasn't so bad. That was fine.
Totally fine. I don't know. I guess I'll like look to Kit and be like, "Are we free? Can we just like fucking go, or what happens next? Anything?"
Well, I didn't see any handcuffs, so that was a good sign. I think you're free. I think you're free to go.
Oh, okay. Well, are you okay? I know there was some pettiness from perhaps political opponents.
Yeah.
Nothing new. I'll probably stab him in his sleep tonight.
Oh, all right. I mean,
yeah.
I had some ideas, so I mean.
Let us know if you need any help.
Thanks. Well, and she's visibly relaxed again now that this is over, and she's not in prison.
And Kit, if it makes you feel any better, I think you're very courageous, and what you're doing leading the chapters of Brass is it must be very difficult and taxing, and they don't understand the effort that you put into protecting the realm, so they can off into the mountains if they really want.
I have a question, if you don't mind, Kit.
Sure. She pats Kangjax on the shoulder.
Why did they not know Marcellus is ill?
It wasn't something that we were really willing to share. From my understanding, he still hasn't made it back from wherever he was, and I do not know the extent of his illness, and I do not know how to cure him. So It's probably something better left unsaid. There are other towns that have these types of powerful allies as well. Hagamar has a number that did not show up to aid them. So something must be going on
Wait,
with entities beyond us.
What's allies of Hagramar? Like, what kind of creature did not show up?
Let's just say this, and she kind of pulls you off over to the side of the room. As everyone hasn't left, they're kind of mingling among people they haven't seen in a long time. And she's kind of whispering to you, and she's like, there's one called the Guardian inside of Hagramar, and it is my understanding from inside sources that he did not make an appearance last night. I don't know what he is either, but legends tell of a giant stone creature. That's all I know.
So that would be a creature that might have ancestry from another realm?
Likely.
Okay.
Alright, well, someone's got to go take care of the chapters and keep people like Adrian in line. And she kind of punches Adrian on the shoulder and kind of laughs and walks out.
Shit. Alright, well.
Oh, gang. That was not reassuring to learn.
No, let's at least get out of here. Blossom's just kind of like distastefully looking around.
Saren waves to you and she's like, I'll catch up. I'm going to talk with Quill for a while. You go on.
Alright, sounds good.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's go to the library.
Who are you?
Yeah, Brenda just stares at him like...
Yeah, we all just stop.
Well, we need to do some research on astral dragons and astral dragon care, don't we? And this city must has a very copious library to research in.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people we could probably try and talk to also. What time is it at this point, actually? How long was this whole tribunal?
It's pretty late. It's probably like dinner time. I sped it along for, the sake of not wanting to hear me talk for 5 hours, but...
What? You didn't want to swear in all of the council members one by one live on stream, Chris?
I did not for some reason,
my
but...
belief can no longer be suspended.
Yeah. But it's like dinner time, 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Oh, alright. Well, then maybe tomorrow we should think about trying to hit up the libraries, and tonight let's just get a fucking drink, y'all. Come on, I know someplace, and Blossom will I don't know, I'll take us to wherever. The Chromatic Chimera, maybe.
That is one.
Hey, roll
Plus,
credits.
that's where Togue is anyway, right? So.
Yep.
We
You
wanted
wanna go
to
there?
talk to him
Alright.
about the portrait that we left with him anyway. So yeah, Blossom will lead the way
Yes.
there.
Sure.
Togue.
So they make it to the Chromatic Chimera Inn and Tavern, and behind the bar is a large red dragonborn. He is beefy and all red shining scales. He has what is like a lion's mane framing his head, and he stands behind the bar. He's kind of half cocked himself, it seems, and he is just handing out beers to everybody. There's it's not necessarily a party, but it's a classic night in a Hagramar tavern. It's kind of rowdy. Music is loud. A bunch of bards in the back performing.
Blossom totally just kind of kicks the door open, like I'm back, babies.
Togue looks on at you and he's like, well, what a sight for sore eyes. And he says, wrong turns, welcome home. And he pours you all some ales. It hasn't been that long. I'm not that old.
I mean,
Actually-
I can't remember people I saw yesterday, so
Well, when you're a tavern owner, you got to remember all the faces you see.
that's fair.
Tell me your exploits. I hear good things from Kit, and I'm glad that I could be the founder to swear you all in.
Hey, thanks again for that, by the way. Actually, Life in the Chapters is treating us pretty well. Not gonna lie.
It's pretty sweet, isn't it?
I'm a fan. I'm surprised.
Yeah, some days I think about going back, but the shoulders would probably give out as soon as I wielded a sword.
You could always learn to sling spells, right, Bryn? I'm just like...
Well, anyways, enjoy it. Blossom, you know the way around. And he kind of turns around and starts going to the next person.
Yeah. Alright, so Blossom will help everybody bring drinks over and we'll secure a table someplace. And alright, y'all.
Just wordlessly slide my drink to Blossom.
I'm like I already got it. Just like double fisting. All right, y'all. So what the fuck are we doing next? What do y'all make of that?
I find it concerning, but it does fall in line with stuff we already knew.
Yeah, I guess it's at least good to know that the things we were thinking were happening, like on a larger scale, are like we're on the right track at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody mentioned some of the things in the other continent. You know, the one we were in,
Albion.
Albion. Yeah,
Uh,
in Albion, the water with fish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to like not give too much information about anything but the bell, just because I'm a little worried the more they find out, whoever in there who's connected to the Darunes finds out that we know more things, you know? Like,
No, I think it was a good call to keep most of it close to the vest, but
alright.
I don't know. It's worrying.
It is. I guess I'd like to try to find out if sort of similar water issues are happening on Theraboros. We haven't really had a chance to like ask anybody. I mean, nobody was in the chapters until we got back, and no one said anything. That at least was fine. We can try and ask around at least. There's a lot of people in the city. I might have some friends around that we can try to get some information out of at least. Plus, I just like to say hi to some people.
We do need to ask about that painting.
We do need to ask about the painting. Also,
We do.
be careful where we do stick our noses. I got the feeling that Nue, yeah, her. I didn't like the vibe she was giving.
No, but I don't think she was aligned with. You know, she didn't think the name.
Well, no, but they're not gonna. If they are aligned, the Darunes are sneaky. They've been doing this for how long now and haven't been busted.
Yeah, but if you were part of it, you would know the name, and she did not so much as think it.
We're gonna go to break real quick. I gotta take care of something. We'll be right
Sure.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
back.
be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that. Me and my fiance are having a racquetball competition, and she lost by 4 strokes. So anyways, no big deal. But the champion's back, and we're ready to go.
The whole world knows you're the champ, Chris.
At least for another hour or so. All right, so we're back in it. The Wrong Turns are at the Chromatic Chimera Inn and Tavern. They have been recently discussing the trial that they took part in the day earlier in the day. They're having plans to do a few things, and that's basically where we left off. I'm sorry for whoever I interrupted, but if you want to finish that talk, you go for it.
I think we were just kind of figuring out what our next game, like what's
Yeah.
next in the game plan.
Just
Well,
vibing.
We're saying we definitely actually are gonna need to talk to Togue. We wanted to ask him about that portrait that we left with him before we
Sure.
came, or before
Mhm.
we left.
Sure, he's never too busy. You can just go ask him.
Okay, cool. Hey, Togue, you still got that creepy ass painting that we gave you before we left?
Yeah, it's covered up in the back, but I haven't looked at it since you left. It's a little unnerving to say the least.
Yeah. Do y'all think we should like look at it?
Well-
Do you mind if we go fuck with it a little bit?
Be my guest. It's right in the back.
Alright, I'll go with everybody to screw around with this totally not haunted fucking portrait or whatever.
Okay, so you head back into like his office essentially, and you peep in there, and there is a painting kind of behind like a bookshelf, like with a fold over it, like a blanket covering it.
Who wants to? Anyone want to?
I'll do it.
something? Yeah, I just like look at the more magically types.
All right.
Not
I-
technically.
Like, I don't yank the sheet off completely. Like, grab one corner really carefully with my nails and like pull it back.
You pull it off. It is a blank canvas.
Ugh.
And
Oh.
remind me, what did it look like last time we saw it?
I don't know. Do you guys remember? I'm just kidding.
Wasn't it like a?
It had a
murder
dude,
scene?
I think.
It was a
Creepy as fuck. I remember that.
a sect of Hagamar, a like courtyard, and there were 2 dead individuals bleeding in the center of the square. And it was basically, it had a bunch of people in the background, and it was a scene of horror. Then the next day, that same thing happened in real life.
Had the image changed the next day, like, at all? I don't remember if there was any change in the image before we left or anything like that, or if it was...
I don't know if you checked, but from a meta sense, it changed as soon as you saw it in real life. So
Okay. It had... If we had checked, it
Yeah.
would have been blank then. Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like we would have checked.
probably,
Because
yeah.
I know... Like, I think the
I,
first time we
like-
looked at it, there was, like, music or something, right?
Yes, there was fucking
Mhm.
creepy music.
And there's none of that now,
I would
right?
like to
Nope.
ritual cast identify.
Ooh.
You ritual cast Identify. Though it is not magic right now, it is dormant magic. I don't have a sick name for it, but essentially the painting it can predict murders that are going to happen by the person who painted the painting.
Oh. Mm.
It basically shows you what the murderer is seeing.
That's unsettling.
I hate that.
And there's-
I relay that information.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks.
Well,
Yeah, but this is also helpful.
Is there like any sort of identifying markings like along the sides or the back of the canvas, or if it's in a frame, is there, anything like that?
Make an investigation check with advantage. I will give you, it's going to be a hard DC, just off the bat.
Okay. Oh boy.
Guidance! K-Jax, guidance!
Ooh, okay. Investigation
Mhm.
21?
You turn it over and you look at the wooden frame of the back of the canvas, and really, really faintly there's a brand essentially of an open eyeball.
And is this this symbol ring any bells.
Yeah, it's the symbol of the Watchers.
Blossom like squints her eyes at it.
It's a thieves guild that you might know some people involved in.
I forget, did King Jax tell us about Ton?
Did I?
That's the thing the Queen of Maywood was all mixed up with, right?
Sort
Yeah,
of.
I told you all about that, I think, yeah.
I think so, because you got the
Yeah.
note from the Watchers when we stayed in.
Yep. It's the same eyeball.
Alright.
Okay, well, this is bad.
Fucking fuck. King Jax, message Ton!
Okay, what the...
Flashback like 3 nights ago.
Any indication of how old this painting is? I remember when we found it, it was old, but...
Oh, it's probably hundreds of years old. The wood on the back is
So it couldn't have
fraying
been
and
Ton.
splintered. Probably not.
But it's connected to the Watchers, which we know. Does Blossom know, given her criminal element? Does she know, like, the Watchers? Are they just like a thieving type deal? Do they do like assassiny things?
Yeah, they do assassiny things.
Okay.
Essentially, my vision of Blossom pre-stream is that there's like 3 major guilds in town. One is called the Dancing Blades, which is a college of swords for bards. They are very lawful. The Watchers Guild that you might have worked for or might not have is very chaotic, and
Yeah.
the individual stuff you did for friends and contacts you knew is like on you.
Right.
So those are like the 3 major players, and the Watchers are definitely known as people who do the jobs nobody wants to do, but need to be done. There has been reports of them attempting to murder council members before.
Okay.
None has ever come to fruition because council members are often can hold their own. So
Remind me.
Mhm.
The 2 people who we found murdered in the street.
Yep.
Did we figure out their identity? They were just like average Joes, weren't they?
it was 2 dwarven men, I believe, and they were just average Joes. Yeah.
At least as far as we could tell.
Yeah, you asked
Yeah.
her. We can say you asked around. Nobody really knew them. They were just kind of farmers out in the forest district of this town.
But they were dwarves,
Mhm.
which, considering what we found, the bell.
I don't even know where to go next, y'all. I mean,
I think we should take this with us. I mean, if it shows murders before they're going to happen, like, surely it will be useful to have.
maybe. At least if nothing else, we can keep an eye on it.
We have a hope of preventing them.
Perhaps. Yeah, alright. Blossom will start unfolding her portable hole.
Yeah, it's all yours. Easy enough.
She's like making like a big show of like, where do I hang this empty painting in my like
Your disheveled bar.
yeah.
Can you say hi to Scream Horror for me?
No.
Oh.
Drink
Alright.
your drink, King.
Oh, we maybe shouldn't put that portrait with Scream Hoarder. That could be a bad idea.
Well, I mean, do one of you want to fucking cart this giant painting around?
Oh, I
That's
think
a
you
good
need
point.
to give me the sword.
One of you
No.
want to cart this giant painting around?
I'm sure it's fine.
Oh,
Definitely
Alright.
no chance of 2 cursed objects interacting poorly. It's fine.
All
It
right.
says that, and Blossom's like looking at the painting, looking at Scream Hoarder, and just puts the painting on the opposite side.
All right. I still can't believe I'm actually asking, but we should go to the library.
Ah!
It's still open.
It's Adrian. It's kind of like doing a workout
Ugh,
for your brain.
that's
I
the
mean-
worst kind.
The one muscle Adrian gives no fucks about.
Well,
I mean, if you want to do that tonight, I guess, but
either tonight or tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, it's been a day.
Okay, I only need 4 hours of sleep. Let's go.
Look, there's only been one astral dragon, right? We need to do some. We don't know what this could entail.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not disagreeing that we need to, like, go do some looking into it, but oh, it's a stupid day, King Jax. I don't want to go to the library right now.
Look,
Blossom has already had her drink and Bryn's.
Blossom,
On
would
top
you
of her
prefer
own.
to go? Would you prefer to go down to the docks and see if you can get us passage to Shine Lake? I assume that is where we must go next.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could do that.
Take Adrian with you. You'll need the muscle.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine too. So, what do we trying to do? Trying to see if we can get passage tomorrow or as soon as possible, I guess.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, all right. I got a few pit stops to make. Adrian, want to come for a walk?
Can we make it a
Nerds read.
dog?
I mean, I'll probably just slow you down. You wanna do like a brisk power walk or
All right,
something?
power walk it is.
Yeah, all right.
Blossom, you also vaguely know the harbor master in this town, so.
Yeah, I've got my contact sheet
All right,
up
cool.
now.
Cool. All right, so 2 at the library, 2 to the harbor master, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What do we want to do first? You want to do the library first?
Yeah, I
nerds
mean, I
can
don't
go
think it'll
first.
take long.
Okay. So you head over to the library. Another meta information. This is the same one you saved from the Feywild as other people, most of you.
Hey!
So
In
way
another life.
to help your own characters.
Thanks, past me.
Yeah. So this is the Order of the Weaves Library. You walk in and you see Acrelius Finch, the individual from Albion who kind of took an interest in you all and helped you as well as they could. Not necessarily that they helped you that much, but they tried. And they turn around and they see you and they nod slowly and they're like, "Oh, wrong turns. It is a pleasure. You held your own in the Council of Voices. Not a feat many can accomplish."
Thank you.
I'll be going, but it is wonderful to see you. Oh, I suppose I should tell you, I've taken Felicity on as my apprentice. She is doing quite well for herself.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
How's Maywood doing before you head off?
Maywood is fine. The queen is as wise as ever, and you can catch the sarcasm in their voice.
So that is still happening, huh?
Yes. Bryn, from what I understand, your family is fine. I see them occasionally when I go to pick up Felicity for our lessons. They are more than happy to have her being productive instead of terrorizing their small village.
I am glad to hear it. Thank you.
Of course.
Also, do you remember when we went to go find your little bluebird for you?
How could I forget? And you see on their shoulder a little ghost, spectral bluebird.
Now, this is Alex. Did we tell him about Blazin being AWOL?
I think we had to.
You haven't told her she's dead, but you have told them that she was AWOL, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we found Blazin.
Oh.
Blazin's kind of dead now.
Oh.
Blazin kind of turncoated.
Oh, well, thank you for telling me. And you see their face drop.
I'm very sorry.
Well, that's okay. I had my doubts about someone in the Order. I'm just sad to see it was her, a close colleague. Well, thank you for telling me. I'm sure that we will we'll have to elect a new member to the Order, and that's always exciting. And you see that they're kind of like trying to look on the bright side of things, but
And tell me, what do you happen to know about astral dragons? Dumb smirk.
Section 5. And they just kind of turn around and give you a
Thank
pat on
you.
the shoulder and walk out.
Tell Felicity I said hello.
I will do that. And they walk out, and there's like a gust of wind behind them as they exit.
They own a cloak of billowing, that's for sure.
So, I guess it was a good thing we updated him as to Blazin's condition outside of the council.
Yeah. Probably. Okay, section 5.
All right. Marching down to section 5.
Section 5 is on the top floor of this library. There are 3 floors, and you you don't have Adrian with you, so you can take your pace at your own.
Still managed to be winded at the top of the stairs.
You make it to the top, and there's a librarian there. She's like, "Tell me about it." And she goes and she puts another book away. There's like an air tube.
I think we broke Lucy.
Yeah. Anyway, section 5 is right there. It is the smallest section of the library, and it has to deal with basically the old gods. A lot of this information has been thrown out to an extent, or consolidated into like one book because nobody cares anymore. So
I guess we start looking for information about astral dragons.
sure,
Yes.
it doesn't take you too long. The librarian comes over and helps you a little bit, and she's just making friendly conversation. She's like, "So what brings you into town?" And as she's looking,
Oh, a council meeting, you know.
"Oh, you were at the council meeting. Big shots, huh?"
Oh, you have to
I wouldn't say
that.
that.
All right. Well, if you need anything else, please let me know. And she sets down this big ass book in front of you. It has a lock over it. She's like, "Oh, I don't really know how to open that though. There was never a key provided with this book, and the cover itself
I
is
cast
black
knock.
with stars." Okay. Make an Arcana check for me. I know that it doesn't say that in the spell, but just for my own sake.
Oh no!
I'm scared. Hold on. Where's my spell modifier? 21.
21, okay. Opens without a hitch. Swings open, the brass kind of rusted hinge, and the cover is again black with like blue and white stars on it. No title.
I do not touch it. I use like the corner of my robe.
Okay.
Said there's no title to the book. Because Kane Jackson's just watching, dumbfounded.
There's no title to this book. So as you turn through, it is the story of Agora as you have heard it, which I could reiterate again for new folks since we're in a new arc. Essentially, the forces of good and evil combine to quell this world-crushing entity. She was tied between 7 different bells because she had a sensitivity to sound. She lies dormant in a star somewhere, banished to wherever the fuck they sent her. The only part that's different is the beginning of the story. At the beginning of the story, you actually learn that she was born of a corrupted meteor, and that she was one of 4 meteors to land on this world. The other 4 landed somewhere else, perhaps in a different plane of
were the other?
existence. It doesn't say. It is common knowledge, or not common knowledge, but this book seems to assume that at least one of them were her brother. It doesn't go into...
Brother.
Yep, it doesn't go into details beyond that
No
her brother
name?
was also an astral dragon. You'll have to find another book.
Do you? We've never heard mention of a brother before.
You've not.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You keep reading.
Excuse me, librarian. Sorry, what was your name? That was very rude.
Librarian's fine, but people call me Susie.
Susie. Where did you acquire this book?
I don't know, now that you mention it. It just kind of showed up one day. Maybe it was waiting for you.
Oh, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So I keep flipping through it.
Hey, Bryn, sidebar.
Sidebar.
lead Bryn away from, like, where Earshot Librarian. Do you remember how this library was, like, sucked
In the
into...
Feywild for a while, yeah.
Maybe that's where that book came from.
I mean, maybe.
There was a weird lock on it. That seems like something
Yeah.
Faye would do.
It's definitely spooky for sure.
Yeah. And you're telling me there are 2 astral dragons?
According to the book. I have never heard of a second one before.
Neither have I. The story was always there was one and only one. And now this book is telling me there's 4 and the 3 others might exist somewhere else?
But there is one other that is definitely related specifically to Agora. The other 2 are not really mentioned more than just that they exist.
Oh, beans.
So you continue flipping through the book. The end of the story is also a little bit different. The end of the story typically, what you've heard is that all the gods banded together to destroy her with the help of the mortals. But this actually speaks about her brother, Azor Bale, helping the gods chain her.
And he landed in a parallel plane.
And then he went back to his realm.
Mm-hmm.
So it does make you a little bit nervous if you weren't able to find this entity and Agora broke out again. Who would take Azor Bale's place of helping in this scenario?
So
Where's the wee baby?
we have a baby.
Perhaps King Jax is just like, oh, perhaps baby is sent by Azor Bale.
Just in another universe, Cat got a really urgent need to like punch something.
Fuck!
Drat is the savior. We need Drat to defeat Agora.
I'm here for that crossover.
Is it gonna? It's finally gonna happen. What is
Dude,
this?
me and Alex play Drat and AJ. That's our characters.
That would be excellent,
Yes,
honestly.
please.
Then the book ends. There are a few pages ripped out in the middle, which is kind of strange. But it's just at the mundane part with the story that you've heard a million times.
Excuse me, Susie, can I check this out? I don't have a library card, but
You turn around and Susie is not there.
Remember, she said it could be waiting here for us, so that makes it sound.
okay, I'm just going to take it then.
Well, she said it was waiting for us, so that means it's for us.
Okay, you walk
It's
downstairs,
a library.
button up the book, and Susie is nowhere to be found.
Like,
Is she real? Like
I don't know.
the Ghost Librarian?
I feel like we just been hoodwinked or bamboozled.
Yeah, this feels like a trick.
Susie's been dead.
100 years.
All right, that wraps things up at the library. Harbor Master group.
I take it. Nothing back.
So the group going to the Harbor Master. You make it through the town, Adrian and Blossom, to the coast. There's a little beach, nothing mind-blowing, but it's enough to bring in a little bit of tourism and stuff. There's a few late goers at the beach kind of surfing, and there's a few boats docking late at night, a few larger ones, and a few small like dinghies. And you see the house of the harbor master that you are somewhat familiar with. It is a cobblestone house, and it is kind of tilted to the left like it's going to fall over any day now. It's a little 2-story house, and you know that Rumshackle, the harbor master, is a bit of a drunk.
Yeah,
and
so
he
we're
is
buddies.
inside. Yeah, and he's likely inside at this hour. So.
All right. I'll go on over and knock. And I'm just sort of like knocking and scrounging around in my bag to pull out like a bottle as a gift.
Okay. All right. So you knock a little bit. He's like, all right, come on in. He doesn't even like get up to open the door.
Okay. He says, come in. All
yeah.
right. I'll open the door and I'll just be like, hey, Romy, how you doing?
Oh, Blossom, it's so good to see you. And he's like spread out like over his desk, like with a bottle of rum in his mouth. He's like,
have you even moved since the last time I saw you?
Hardly. I'm trying to move as little as possible.
That sounds about right. Here, I brought you a little gift.
Oh, it's good to see you back in town. And he places it on a shelf next to a bunch of tipped over empty bottles.
You know, it's actually surprisingly good to be back. Wasn't really looking forward to it at first, but it's nice to be somewhere familiar.
I don't see why you weren't looking forward to it. Everyone missed you dearly since you've been gone. All the old crew sometimes gets together and we just pine over Blossom.
You know, that totally scans to me.
It's also a lie, but we did miss you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it though. You know, actually, I missed y'all too. I was actually. Yeah.
Just from what you can see, Adrian, since you're meeting this individual for the first time, he is a blue goblin, and he has large like ears that have like chunks missing out of them, like something bit him, and he has like large piercings in them as well, or like a piercing was ripped out or something gruesome. He has like a red bandana over his head, but the blue is like, he's not all blue. There's spots of green as well. So he's like kind of like a polka dotted goblin of sorts.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, we're my manners. Rumshackle, this is my friend Adrian Blackburn. She's with the chapters of brass.
Ah, put her there, and he reaches out a handshake with his like slicked hand. It's like all greasy and gross.
Handshake.
Do you say handshake?
Handshake.
Oh no.
Well, Blossom, your friend's a little weird, but I'm happy to have you both here. What can I do for you? I don't suppose this is just a drinking party.
No, I mean, it can be a bit of that too. Old friends and all. But I was actually, you're not gonna believe this, but I was hoping maybe you could help me out with something of a ride.
He looks at you, his eyes go wide, and, and he just kind of like falls over in the back of his chair off the back, and he's like, "You want to go on the sea?"
I mean, want is a strong word, but I need to get somewhere quick.
All right. Well, I always thought I was your least favorite friend just because I dealt with water, but we can make that work.
Look, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to make a living. I'm not gonna begrudge you that, even if it's weird.
I appreciate it. Well, I could get you on a boat. You looking for like a passenger vessel, or are you trying to stow away? We can make that happen.
Oh shit, actually, Adrian, probably should have considered that. Do we wanna go travel in secret, or we wanna travel in comfort? Unfortunately, you can't do both. I feel like secret. I mean, well, of course,
Yeah.
pay whatever we need to help the way, but us and a couple of friends, we gotta get to Sharnwick quick and quietly.
Sure. And he goes over to a book while you're talking. Continue.
I mean,
What do
I
you
would
think,
love
Adrian?
comfort. I would love comfort, but I do
mean-
not think it's realistic.
Yeah, I would too.
It's probably best that we are as uncomfortable as possible.
If it means we are proportionally more secret, then yes.
Well,
Good.
first of all, where are you trying to go? And he just has this like big tome open of all the ledgers and records of docking and leavings.
We gotta get to Sharnwick, quick as we can, and preferably as quietly as we can, I guess.
Sure. Well, I've got a relatively small boat going tomorrow. Could probably stow you away on that. It's just the captain, little sailboat. It's fast enough.
All right, it's 5 of us. Is there gonna be enough room on there, you think?
Sure, you might have to help her out, but yeah.
Well, that's all right. Would you believe it? This is actually ain't even gonna be my first time on a boat now. I'm practically a fucking sailor.
I would not believe that.
Ask Adrian. It happens. It wasn't fun, but it happened.
It
Twice.
did indeed.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could hook you up. Just the friendly discount of 0 gold will do the trick, and it's just good to see you.
I appreciate that, Rummy. I mean, I'm not gonna leave you totally empty-handed, and I'll make a big show of unfolding my portable hole, and I'll pop in and grab him a couple of bottles of nice stuff that I got stowed away as a thank you.
This is more than generous, and he puts it back on the shelf. He's like, now I don't even have to go into town tomorrow.
Always glad to help a friend.
All right, we'll be here bright and early, 8 a.m. or so, and we'll get you cranking.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, my friend. It was good to see you again.
You too. You going out with any of the old pals tonight? What's the plan? You staying in?
Well, actually, I was thinking of swinging by to see Pearl. Just say hi. It's been a while. I know it's, they don't really get out too much themselves, so.
I'm sure they'll be happy to see you. They've been doing a lot since you've been gone.
Yeah, well, that'll be nice to catch up a bit. Hey, I know this one's a long shot, but you ain't seen Amroth any time recently or anything, have you?
He gets this dumb smile on his face, a few rotted teeth, and he's like, well, wouldn't you be the one to see Amaranth if it was anybody?
Well, I mean, I haven't really been around now, have I?
Nah, he hasn't come through.
No, alright.
But I'll let him know you're looking for him if I ever do see him.
You don't have to go doing that.
I might.
It's really not necessary. I'm like reaching into my bag for another bottle.
Oh, no.
He stows your hand. I'm just playing. I'm no loose lips Lamont down at the old tavern.
Well, thank God. I don't think there's enough space in the city for 2 of them.
Oh God, he's still here, by the way. I'd steer clear of T-Nam tonight.
All right, well, that's duly noted. Thank you, my friend.
No problem. Adrian, pleasure to meet you. Hope you're half the sailor I am.
I'm not a sailor.
Great. And he goes behind and just uncorks the next bottle of rum that Blossom gave him.
All right. All right, so 8 a.m. tomorrow, Adrian. It's gonna be a great fucking time.
Sounds like a good time.
Well, hopefully it's not gonna fucking rain at least. So those nerds are probably still studying. I was hoping to pop by and see another old friend while we were in the city. Wanna come meet an old acquaintance?
Sure.
I'll start walking Adrian that way, and as we go,
Okay.
like, how are you holding up with, everything that happened?
Like with Callan?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of big changes.
Yeah, it's hard to connect with him, and I don't think he understands what exactly happened.
Yeah.
And
What have you told him?
I told him he was very sick, he was asleep for a long time, and he just kind of went, okay.
Right.
And then asked to be an adventurer.
Well, I
I said
mean,
no.
it's, not exactly the best dream career for a kid, I guess. It's a hard life, I know. I mean, if anyone's gonna train that kid to be a hell of an adventurer, though, it'd be you.
Nah, he deserves better.
I'm glad that, he gets a chance at a childhood now. Because you're right, he deserves better, at least, than being an adventurer this age, for sure. He's certainly got time.
Yeah.
I know, I heard that you were, worried about leaving him at home and, like, setting him up with, like, schooling and stuff,
Yeah, he needs a tutor. He is going to need to catch up on quite a bit. And ideally, I'd like to find him an apprenticeship in something he's interested in.
Well, I might have an idea, at least for one thing. We'll have to see if they're up for it, but
Okay.
I think you might be real interested then in meeting my friend Pearl. I think we're almost there. Hang on.
Okay.
Keep going until we get to Pearl's house.
All right, so you cross the district into the T streets where you know Pearl used to live. You're hoping they still do, and you roll up on the same small hovel in the merchant alley right next to the T streets. As you know, it is above essentially an abandoned building, and they'd been lodging there for free, essentially.
Yeah.
And the hovel's still standing.
Awesome. I'll just start like pounding on the door the like same kind of way I like used to, and I would like roll up fucking drunk in the middle of the night, kind of like now, but with intent.
Sure, there's a pause, and then you hear some footsteps, and hang on a minute, and they kind of walk over from the kitchen. You hear what you're used to being the kitchen, and they open the door. There's a small halfling standing in front of you. They have shoulder-length brunette hair. There's a single strand of like whitish, like white and lavender in their hair, and they stand no more than a few feet tall, and they're looking up, and they're like, "Blossom, it is unexpected." But expected at the same time, and they come up and they give you a hug.
Yeah, I bend right down and I give him like a big ol' hug.
Mm-hmm.
Like squeeze a little too tightly.
Yeah, they're like, okay, that's enough. What do I owe the pleasure?
It's just wanted to come by, see how you were doing. It's left without getting a chance to say goodbye or anything.
Oh, please come in. I've missed you dearly. Come on in.
Yeah. Pearl. This is my friend Adrian. Adrian, this is my friend Pearl.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
mine.
Adrian, you won't believe this. Adrian's in the chapters of brass with me.
Oh, you are too. That is, again, unexpected of you.
Yeah,
But
I'm fucking legit now.
let's not go too far. But again, it's good to see you at the very least. So you enter into this like small hut. It's small and circular. It's just enough for one halfling to live. On the ceiling, though, there are pieces of like driftwood and wood that has been tied together, and among it you see several like lizards kind of crawling through the top of the canopy. The building itself is run down, but not due to Pearl's lack of care. It's just the age of the building itself. Pearl seems to be taking immaculate care of things, and things are very clean and well polished. There is like an alchemy bench on one side of the room and like a bedroom off into a separate door.
Awesome.
And they sit down and they pour you a drink. Seems to be the last one that you had been drinking when you left. If you remember, they haven't really touched it much.
It's just like been there.
Yep.
I'm like, great. I just start adding more to it.
Yep.
Infecting, it's fine. Booze don't go bad.
Nope.
Well, how have you been doing? Seems like there's been a lot of crazy shit happening all around since I left.
Yes, very much. I hope you're keeping well, but I've been okay. I've been doing a little work for the Dancing Blades, which is less than optimal for me, I'm sure you know. It's not that I don't like them, but a person needs money once in a while, so... I've been doing a little bit of that, a little divination work for them, seeing where they need to be, and, at least they're the lawful ones. I'm not working for the Watchers or anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Yeah. How's Carla doing?
Well, Carla's the same, I guess. She's not, super fond of me, but, I think she's a little unnerved by magic types.
Well... I mean, it can be a little jarring, I guess, if you don't know anything about it.
Sure. But anyways, enough about me. What have you been up to? I'm boring. I've just been sitting here.
I mean, you're definitely far from boring. There's been a lot, man. I don't even fucking know where to start, Pearl. Would you believe I saw one of Agora's bells?
Actually, that's probably the only thing that I believe that you've told me today. I always knew you'd do something weird, so...
Yeah, oh man, there's all kinds of weird shit. Oh, here! Blossom will pull out her Ecrix to show Pearl.
Their eyes kind of light up, and they take... May I? And they kind of reach out to take it. And they take it, and they put it on, like, their alchemist bench. And they don't really conduct any research on it, but they just kind of look it over really intently, and they're like, this is fantastic and fascinating. Where did you find this?
Well, actually, this particular one we got from my aunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's no good. Why did you find your aunt?
She found me.
Oh, that's even worse.
Blossom sort of looks awkwardly at Adrian and is like, we found out a lot about the family, actually. Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, turns out good old Aunt Thunder is a Rakshasa.
Again, that kind of seems to check out. She was always kind of a bitch from what you told me.
Yeah, she was. We found her and we found my da.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we found my cousin Breezy. And yeah, Da's all right. He was like all kinds of cursed. She did this. Aunt Thunder had this. Yeah. Aunt Thunder had this kind of spell on him where, like, anytime we hurt her, it hurt him too, and he was all like withered.
That's dark. And they kind of reach down and get out the spell book and start flipping through it absentmindedly to like any spells that might be able to do that, and they don't find any. But
all right. Oh shit! Actually, fuck. We should have brought like Bryn and Sarah in here too. That would have made sense. Oh man, I got some other friends that I think you're really gonna like, Pearl.
Well, I've got time. I'm not doing much right now.
Oh man, we should get them. Oh shit! I got a thing for that. And Blossom's gonna use the circlet that she hasn't given back to Bryn yet. Mostly because I, Sam, keep forgetting. And I'm gonna message Kang Jax. And I'll be like, hey, what up, nerds? Come over too. And I'll give him like the address.
Okay.
Come hang out. Meet my friends.
So Bryn, Blossom wants us to go on a drunken escapade to go hang out with our friends. I think it would be fun, especially after reading the terrible truths and having everything that we understand about life in reality be turned upside down. I think I could use a drink right now.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'd like to meet some of Blossom's old friends. Lead the way.
Are you sure? Is that like a I would actually like to, or is that the I would like to meet Blossom's friends?
I'm not super jazzed about it, but it's Blossom, so if she wants us to go, I'll go.
Oh, okay. So we'll trot down the street.
Bryn's about to be
Having
Jazz.
You find it. You walk into the strange hovel with the lizards crawling through the ceiling.
Like, hey, you found it.
Well, it's pretty easy to find. The place with the lizards coming out of the roof.
Yes, that
it's
is my
great.
place.
Hey, Pearl, these are my friends, the Wrong Turns. Wrong Turns, this is my friend Pearl. And this is we got my live bror King Jax here, and Bryn, and is Saren like sleeping, or are we just like carting her around?
Is she
with
still
us?
with Quill? I think they wanted to talk.
All right.
I think she was hugging the library when we were.
Well, it's a
Now that
pleasure.
stands.
It's a pleasure to meet you all. It's about time Blossom made friends other than me.
Yeah, pretty much.
How
but,
did you meet Blossom?
I don't know,
Oh.
Blossom, do you want to tell the story?
Well, I mean, we're working together on contract for the Blades. It was about like 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago now, I think.
Yes, quite a while.
Yeah, and Pearl is she's a very magic-y type, rather like you, Bryn. That's why I think y'all are gonna get on just great. They started hiring me to go and do like looking for ingredients and like the weird kind of shit y'all need for like your spells and experimenty things and stuff.
Speaking of, and they kind of get up and cross the room and they flip through a book for a while, and she's like, they're like, this one, and they kind of hand you like this piece of paper. Anytime you, no rush, but I'm very close to something, and they kind of look absentmindedly off in the distance.
What is it that they're looking for?
Well, I'm still looking for my brother, and I think this spell might lead me a little closer to them.
All right.
So?
Actually, talking about that, I haven't really had a chance to run this by any of you. And Blossom like gestures around. But I know, Pearl, you got a lot of research to do, and would you believe that I got a fucking house, or we got a house?
I'll pack my bags, and they walk into the other room.
Oh, that was a quick sell.
I'm tired of this dump, and you can...
I mean, I don't blame you. There are lizards crawling out of the ceiling.
Oh no, the lizards are coming, but...
Oh, beans.
But I was thinking, Pearl, if you don't mind keeping an eye on our place, maybe while we're like out. There's a special surprise for you at the house that I think you'll really enjoy.
Of course I kid, but I would love to if everyone is on the same page with it. I know we just met, but if Blossom vouches for me, how bad could I really be?
Well,
That's true,
Wait.
actually.
Wait a minute.
Blossom's just like, eh. But
yeah, I mean, we're not there that often.
It's only, if everybody's like into it, but Adrian, I was talking to you earlier, and Pearl, I know this is really presumptive of me, but Adrian's got a young kid who kind of needs a bit of tutoring.
Yes. I have a child.
How old is he? Like 10, 12?
Congratulations. They kind of
like-
look...
I think he's like 10, 12, yeah.
All right.
it's good to have a... Yeah, anyways.
It's a whole like thing. He was Adrian's friend's kid. She's taking care of him now.
Well, that is very valiant of you. I would be honored to do so. Again, I'm kind of bored here. I feel like I've exhausted my avenues, and the dancing blades are a little tiring to work for. They're so lawful all the time, and not necessarily I want to cause chaos, but it is a little boring.
They're, definitely a different kind of nerd, and I can promise that shit ain't gonna be boring at our place.
Well, good.
And,
I'm honestly surprised you're asking me. I know we were close, but you did have, someone else a little special in this town.
I
Somebody
mean,
special, you say?
Yes, Blossom, somebody special?
well, somebody special. I don't know if it's, someone I want being tutor for Callan or anything.
He would not make a good tutor.
No, he would not. You ain't seen him.
Have I seen him?
Yeah, have you?
No, if anyone was to see him, it would be you.
Rumshackle said the same damn thing.
He sent me a
Sorry.
message. He told me to say that. We
God
really
damn
wanted
it.
to get you. Yeah.
Fuck y'all. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I figured it was a long shot. Didn't seem likely he'd be swinging back by this way, but you never know.
Who is this person?
Oh.
Is a very good friend of mine from.
It's her boyfriend.
Does this friend have a name?
His name is Amroth.
Ooh.
Not my
Ooh.
boyfriend anymore. All right.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Thanks, I guess. I mean, not
You say that's a
mine.
nice name.
Yes.
I always liked it, but yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
No,
Not around.
No, at all. Just, it's leans over to Bryn and Adrian. Maybe, perhaps it's Blossom's Aurora.
Blossom, jokes aside, maybe sit down for this, but I do have a bit of news.
What?
Uh-oh.
I'll sit down.
Not a fan.
So, every once in a while, divination wizards like to check in on their friends. And I actually do know where Amroth is. He's in jail.
What?
Yep,
Where?
he's in jail. I don't know, but he's in a jail cell somewhere, so he's still alive. That's great news, right?
That is good. And I mean, I guess shouldn't be surprised. Always would have figured that'd be me.
Well, yes, I was expecting to see you in the cell next to him, but
In fairness, you are a fugitive on one continent.
oh, well done, Blossom.
Yeah, I got so many fucking stories for you, Pearl. Jeez. Oh man.
They just pour
Blossom-
you some more rum.
Blossom drinks very heartily. How long ago was this that you saw him?
Oh, 6 weeks. Quite some time. I haven't checked in on you all in a while. In fact, I've never checked in on you. I always trusted you'd be fine.
Oh.
I feel like I feel a combination of gratified by that and never wanted to check up on what the hell, man.
Oh, you are fine. Obviously,
Yeah,
look at you.
I got these folks with me too.
They seem fine, I guess.
We are fine.
They are letting a stranger into their house, but
Not to
You're not a
brag.
stranger.
Not to brag or anything, but I'm kind of Blossom's best friend. So, step aside, Bingle Bobbers.
we'll see how long that lasts, big guy.
Oh, all right, y'all. Blossom's like,
They're very
okay.
clearly kidding.
But it's King Jax.
No.
Never.
So you drink a while with Pearl, and they continue the booze flow.
Alright,
Blossom
while
will
we're-
fill them in on like everything. We don't.
While
need to
we're
play it,
drinking.
but Blossom's not holding anything back.
Okay.
Pearl, you seem like a knowledgeable individual. Takes hearty drink. But how does the name Azor Bale sound to you?
I do not know that name.
Oh, well, we found it in Magic Book from
Hey, Jack!
What?
Not necessary to discuss in mixed company.
I'm not going to tell anyone.
She's
And
gonna
the
be
only
living
person-
in our house!
The only person I would tell is Blossom, and she's here. So
That's me, and I already know. Actually, I don't know what they're talking about right now. You can tell Pearl. They're cool. They're the only. I mean, they knew about my family. They're the only ones who knew.
yeah, long before you, King Jax.
Why trust
Whoa.
Pearl?
Oh boy.
Make an insight check.
No, I'm sorry.
Bad.
Yes.
6.
Yeah, they seem above board. They're just messing with King Jax.
Oh.
They seem to very quickly figure out what gets King Jax's goat, and they are exploiting
Here
that.
for it.
It's a fun pastime, yeah.
Well, I've never heard of that name.
What's it mean?
So what if I told you Agora's not an only sibling?
What?
I think you mean
Can't
only
be an
child.
only sibling if you don't have any siblings.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's not his first language.
It is my
Pat
fourth.
him on the arm.
It is my fourth. Patton's my fourth language. Thank you very much, Blossom. Agora's not an only child.
What? Where's the other one?
Not there.
From another world.
How? I don't know. How is that like? I feel like that's something people would know.
Well,
No?
Well, apparently it is something somebody knew. I
Oh.
take out the book.
oh, do we want to tell him about Susan, Bryn?
Susan?
Showed us the book and then disappeared.
Nowhere to be found. She was like a ghost.
Or she just went somewhere else in the library.
Yeah, or her shift ended.
Oh.
The most boring of all D&D mysteries. Shift change.
ended.
Well, it was ominous. Like, she was like, perhaps the book's been waiting for you all along, and the book was locked, and then Bryn was like, nerdy, wordy, and the book opened up for her.
Look down on this magic thing that I can do. Like I can kill a person with a wave of my hand. You know this, right?
Oh, me too, but but all I'm trying to say is, and then Susan disappeared. Nowhere to be seen.
Blossom, do your friends drink more than you, or the same amount? Or
Believe it or not, no. Although, I mean, you know, he smokes a bit.
ah,
Everything falls into place.
Yeah. They're galaxy branding.
Actually, sometimes you gotta try some of this shit. It's pretty good.
All right, well,
Well,
maybe when we get home.
like, you do realize this is like. So the book then says we need Azor Bale was the one who showed everyone how to imprison Agora. But we've got big problem. There is no Azor Bale around here. We didn't even know he existed until today, apparently. So which brings me to my theory that AJ is actually AB and is Azor Bale.
I don't know if he is perhaps Azor Bale so much as a potential successor.
Perhaps. Yes, I like Bryn's theory better, you know.
Huh.
Well, if I'm going to just be sitting at your house all day studying, I could always watch a dragon for you as well.
Oh, damn, I didn't even think of that one.
Well,
Dragon sitter.
Dragon
Our
sitter.
dragon sitters at home. Oh
I
shit, we
love-
don't have a dragon sitter tonight.
Shit. I love it. Blossom just rolls up to this person's house and is like, yo, come live in my house and do all this shit.
And we got a baby dragon.
Yeah, babysit a kid and a dragon. What's up?
And they're just like, yeah.
I'm Kane Jax.
Sounds about right.
I'm Kane Jax, Easy Fair, and
This
I
is
am the
Jack.
Dragon King.
Oh god.
Well, that's all for tonight.
Whoa.
Oh, make a country album about dragons.
I saw a dragon.
No.
And the dragon song, man. Alright.
Oh my god. You're all
This
dead
episode
to
will
me.
age poorly, I feel it.
Yeah, it will. So,
This will age
You're all
poorly.
dead to me.
alright, so you all drink and have a good night while King Jackson and Brand fill you in on what they found at the library. The night passes pretty well, and you wake up in time for a boat ride.
Blossom gets a head start on her heavy drinking to get through the trip.
Good.
Uh,
Good old head start.
Yeah. How long do you think it'll take us to get from here to Sharnwick, y'all? Any idea?
Any idea?
Few
Any
days.
Couple of days.
3, 4.
All right.
What
Well,
he said. What the voice in the sky said.
could be worse, I guess. Damn. All right. Well, we got this shit to get. Pearl, you're more than welcome to come to Sharnwick with us, but things might get a bit messy. If you want to just go right to the den, I'll understand.
I think I'll head there. I appreciate you getting me out of here. I know it seems like a fascinating city, but the size is not indicative of the excitement. So
No, I mean, I hear ya. don't really think I'll be in any rush to come back here again myself.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, not really a plan.
Alright, well, it was great to see you all. I'll be sure to tell everyone what's going on, and I'll just move into your house, I guess.
Well, I don't know. We can shoot a message to. Did we leave Heaven like watching Kaylin for now? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll shoot a message to the person watching Kaylin in the house for now, so they know to expect you.
That'd be great. Well, it was a pleasure. And they have like 6 cages of like lizards, and they're just kind of like walking through the streets with them as they head off towards the bookends.
Excellent. Blossom will give them like another big ol' hug before they leave.
Yeah, they'll return it for sure.
Ajax will also give Pearl a hug.
All right, they return it.
Adrian will not.
Nope. Neither will Bryn.
They return your head nods.
Alright, let's get a fucking boat.
Okay, so you head down to the beach. It is a sunny beach day. There are tons of tourists on the beach hanging out. And it looks great. Nope, we're just dangling that in front of you before we leave. And old Rumshackle, the bluish-green goblin, is kind of sitting out in front of his door. He's kind of wringing his hat in his hands. He's kind of kicking the dirt a little bit, looking a little embarrassed of something.
Hey, what's up, Rummy? How you doing?
Oh, hey, so you know how yesterday I said that you would be, like, crew on this ship?
Yeah?
So the passenger actually needs, like, someone to pilot the ship for her. She was more looking for like a crew to take her somewhere.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what we're looking for, so...
Yeah, so... Bad news. That's really the only ship I have going out today. So you could probably just wing it, right?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I mean, it's just a boat. I could teach you real quick.
I am positive this is probably exactly.
I am a quick study. Teach me how to pilot the boat.
It is exactly like riding a horse.
I'm sure it's exactly the same.
Alright, well, I guess I'll take you down to the boat now. Nothing weird about this. And he's just like, his like little like gross hairy feet are kind of digging into the sand as he just like runs up in front of you, and he's like clearly trying to get to the docks before you all to try to like hide like a mess that he made. And he gets there. And you see this small, like, golden ship, and it is curved in the center, and it has one beautiful sail. There is a siren mermaid figure on the front of the ship that you would typically see on bigger vessels, but this one is way too fancy for its own good. And you see that...
Oh, we're going to get robbed for sure.
Okay. I told you we wanted to be stealthy in our arrival.
He's scratching the back of his head. He's like, I was a little drunk. Anyways, this is Bliss, and he points you towards this like pinkish lavender skinned tiefling. She has long hair down to her hips, and she looks very... she's like in beachwear, so she has like a cover up on and like an umbrella, and she's looking more for like tourism here instead of like to pilot a vessel across the sea.
So this isn't the same Bliss as on the council, though, right?
It is the same Bliss.
It is, okay.
Oh, and when Kajax sees Bliss, you would see from the corner of the eyes.
Oh.
Slicking the hair.
Slicking the hair.
All right.
Blossom's making notes.
How old does Bliss appear?
Early 30s.
She's
like the same age,
performer,
okay.
right?
She is a performer, and she's a
Social-
bit of a she's a bit of a
No, we are
celeb.
not sailors, y'all.
She's a bit of a celeb in the town.
Alright.
I lean over to the goblin and be like, I need you to teach me to pilot this ship in the next 20 minutes. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, I could totally do that.
We could wing it. There's just a big steering wheel, right?
I don't have to wing anything while we're on
I am
the
a quick
ship.
study. Let's go.
Bliss, do you want to like go chill on the beach for a minute while we settle up the vessel? And she's like, of course. And
Kajax is like, I've got this. Why don't you take a walk with me, miss?
oh, of course. And she kind of takes your arm.
And I'm gonna start. Have I told you about the time I became the king of the elves? I did.
She is enthralled.
All right, well that's happening now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he seems kind of like a dunce, but I'm glad he's here. And Rumshackle just like jumps on board of her ship.
I mean,
And
there's one
teaches
thing
you.
Gage good at, it's being distracting.
True.
And he teaches you how to pilot a vessel really quick. He teaches you the bare bones. He doesn't have a lot of time, but
Blossom was like
Can I
so
have
visibly
proficiency in water vehicles now?
unhappy. My like
Yeah, sure.
whiskers are drooping.
Yes.
all right. So King Jax, you take her on a walk.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
you-
I'm already dropping the GIF in the Discord.
Yeah.
You know, boy.
And she is just enthralled with your story about being king of the ogres.
Oh, yeah.
and so then that's how I became king of the ogres. So tell me, Blissa, what's it like being on the council to this great city?
Well, I didn't know I'd be traveling with royalty, but I can say I'm excited for the voyage now. Being on the council is stressful, and that's why this vacation will be very well deserved, if I don't say so myself.
You know what? You totally deserve that vacation.
Right? Yes, that's what I thought as well.
You know, the administrative workers do not get enough appreciation around
Preaching
these
to the
parts.
choir.
You know, I do a lot of clerical duties myself. I am on a roll tonight.
Boo. She's like, well, that is quite interesting. Perhaps over some wine later, you'll have to tell me about them.
Well, wine later, yes. Actually, you know, I think I might be able to acquire a really good vintage for us before later tonight. I know just the person who will have it.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to traveling with you all.
Yes, I look forward to traveling in your company as well.
And you kind of make it back to the boat.
All right, so I slide over to my friends. All right, she has no idea anything's wrong. I leaned on the old King Jax, and she's actually quite nice, and actually is very devoted to the cause of public service.
Chris.
Yeah.
She's going to Sharnwick,
She is.
and we think someone on the council might have something to do with the Daroons.
You
Sure
do.
do.
Good luck, K-Jax.
Damn it, I know how to pick them.
There's an internal mood.
God. You know, the one NPC I actually, you know, after trying so hard to get King Jax some love, gonna be the one that stabs him in the back.
I mean, wouldn't be the first.
That's true. All right, so you all board the vessel, and Rumshackle is kind of like, all right, Blossom, see you later, I guess. Good luck, everybody. Yep.
If Bryn's pretending to pilot the ship, guide
Pretending?
him.
He taught me how to do it. I'm doing it.
You're good.
You're still getting guidance. I don't believe you.
So
Chris gave me
Bliss,
proficiency in water
I
vehicles.
did.
Hey.
So Bliss, she goes about tanning on the bow of the ship, while you all escort her to her destination. Basically,
What color does she tan if she's purple?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Darker
Yeah,
purple.
Darker purple, yeah.
Deep purple. You start hearing Smoke on the Water playing.
Yep.
And Blossom just starts playing as she.
There's one cabin in here, and it is very clearly Bliss's cabin.
Oh.
So everyone else is just kind of chilling on the deck at nights.
Blossom will sleep in her portable hole.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, just keep it open because, you know, I'll suffocate otherwise.
Sure.
King Jax's fuzzy mug. Blossom, I need the nicest bottle of wine you have, stat.
Oh, do you now? What for?
You know what for.
You lying? Blossom's just like fanning. Like, I don't get it, King Jax. What do you?
All right, fine. I'll lay off about the Amonrath boy thing. Yes, it's
Hey,
for...
Roth, we can talk later. It's all right. Here. I'll rummage through it. I'll give him
Oh.
something.
Don't tell any of the other ones, all right? You know how they get. Especially
Ow.
Bryn. She gets that really like shit-eating grin. Oh.
Oh.
In fairness, I was just looking at my spells to see if I had any that could sabotage K-Jax.
Fireball.
I don't.
K-Jax is more alarmed at the fact that he swore than that he just said, my friend gets this look on her face that I don't like.
Those common lessons are really paying off, I see.
Well, got to go. I've got the date with a high-ranking public official.
Yeah, have fun.
And K-Jax is gonna hop, skip, and do that thing like, when guys are walking like, there's nothing up, there's nothing up.
So you walk up to her cabin, it's closed.
Knock, knock, knock.
She opens, and she's like, oh, aren't you one of my crew members? Just kidding, come on in, come on in.
Oh, well, almost, K-Jax almost had a heart attack there. See, I told you, best vintage. I know a person.
It looks lovely, come on in.
All right. This is a nice. Is this your boat?
Yes, it's brand new, I just bought it. This is its first voyage.
The Maiden Voyage. I'd say the Maiden Voyage is going quite well, wouldn't you?
Well, you haven't sunk me yet.
So anyway, you wanted to discuss clerical duties, right?
Sure, what do you do? Tell me about yourself. Oh, we just talked about me.
So, I'm a cleric of Boolin Yang, and I kind of been on this missionary pilgrimage thing, trying to bring giant kind under one big happy blanket tent under the faith in Boolin, who will teach us the ways of civility and peace.
And how is that going? I imagine not well?
Well, it's kind of like trying to wrangle a whole city under, your rule, but it's not easy.
That's why there's 11 of us. And there seems to be only one of you.
You know what? Maybe you're right.
If I were you, I'd find some apprentices, maybe young ones, people you can raise the right way to teach them how to unite people.
You're right, with the right type of education.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps you open your own church and teach people that way.
You are so smart. I will drink to that.
I have heard that, yes.
I hope you hear it very often, because that is, there is boy, not even giant boy, but boy who's that, Boolin magic around him. Perhaps he's kind of the one you're talking about.
Perhaps I am.
Anyway, then sometimes, I end up going on adventures like the one you heard me talk about, and then, that big meeting.
Sure. It's pretty impressive, if I might say.
Well, yeah, I don't really think too much of it. I was just kind of like, I gotta protect my friends, and, Boolin let us in, and, I'm kind of a big deal.
I can see that.
So, do you know what is with Eris and, what's her name?
Nue?
Nue, yeah.
Those two have been feuding for a long time. They both think they're the smartest person on the council, but I fear to tell them that it's actually me. I can't be the most charismatic and intellectual on the council at the same time. That's a lot of power.
It's kind of like how they didn't elect me leader of the wrong turns. I get you.
Oh, so you're a leader as well. You're not only royalty, but...
Oh, I'm not the leader. We're more of like a group that makes decisions together.
You're not the fucking leader!
It's a flat team structure!
Sorry, I thought I was muted. I was just trying to yell at Alex.
Everyone's piloting the ship right now while King Jax is inside claiming to be the leader.
I mean, sounds like leadership skills to me.
So yeah, she kind of leans in on the table and is more interested as you're the leader and royalty.
Ooh, okay. Now this is where I bust out the insight check. Is she... Because King Jax is a charming, good-looking fella?
Sure, make an insight check.
Or is it because I have something that she wants?
Make an insight check.
That is a 14.
You are a charming, handsome fella.
Damn right. All right, Kane Jazz is gonna lead more into this then, because he
Alright.
thinks, oh, she's actually, holy shit, I'm doing this. I didn't think I'd make it this far.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it, Peter.
Alright, and she goes about chatting with you unless you have anything else in particular to say.
So why Sharnwick, of all places to go on vacation to?
Huh.
Being the sleuth I am.
Well, it is. Honestly, any port city but here. It's difficult to go out and have a beach day when everybody knows who you are and, people want to flock to you and get autographs. That's a new thing people have wanted from me lately. Sharnwick is just a more relaxed place where hopefully no one really recognizes me. I must admit I'm a sucker for the fighting pits, and they have one of the best in the world, so they actually want me to perform there as well. Perhaps you've heard of my work.
I have, actually. My friend, who I got the wine from, has told me all about your work and how graceful you look up on the stage.
She's thinking of the right one, yes.
But I thought Sharnwick was dealing with some things, like in the council meeting, they said Victor and Persephone aren't present because they're dealing with something.
Oh, sure. Those two are so dramatic. It's probably nothing, so... I don't know them well, but I do know that all they do is bicker with other people.
I've heard very similar things, and also that they are very influential when they want to be.
I've heard that as well. They have quite the, I'm surprised, yes. You're a chapter of brass member, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have...
turns!
They have a mercenary guild of their own called the Serpents that is not necessarily a rival to the chapters, but they do take on similar work, and I'm surprised that you haven't crossed paths yet.
That might explain why he was such a dick to me when we met.
Perhaps. And why are you all headed to Sharnwick? I don't believe you're just accompanying me.
Oh, well, first of all, if it was just to accompany you, if I knew it was you, I would have said yes right away.
It's very flattering. And accurate.
God, she's the worst and I love her. You see, we have some unattended business to attend to. Just some boring, nerdy research things. I don't know, the wizards wanted to go here and make sure the library was okay after the whole fiasco.
Wizard things.
It's just like, it's above me. I'm more of just kind of like I say some things, pound my hammer, light some things up, and magic happens.
Pound your hammer, huh?
Well, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, do you... Oh. Oh. Nancing intensifies. I'm waiting for the moment she's like meta. I'm waiting for the moment she's gonna like try and kill me. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah, you're dead. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew it. It's gonna be like classic Chris. Is like, all right, we're gonna make one more thing, and then he's gonna be like, oh, by the way, Bliss tries to murder you.
By the way, does a 38 hit?
You wake up dead.
So yeah, so Kane Jax, now that he can start to see the signs,
Nice.
Nice. He's gonna lean into it, and I'll leave it there.
Nice. Romance is had. So you continue.
Ship on the ship.
Ship on the ship.
You wake up the next morning. Most of you pretty creaky. Your muscles are a little sore from sleeping on the deck of a ship. Some of you may be more used to it than others. Blossom is passed out on the bar in her portable hole. And you have the day. We can really skip the seafaring adventures, as we're just gonna pretty much arrive to Sharnwick. But if there is anything you all want to do during these 3.5 days, now would be a good time. If not, we'll just go to Sharnwick.
I mean, Bran and Saren are gonna hang out, but we can't RP that, so.
Yep, Saren's here.
Saren's here too.
Yep, Saren's here too. All right, so you arrive at Sharnwick then. The first thing you see is the magnificent range of mountains that the town of Sharnwick lies within. The strange part is that at random intervals throughout this large, seemingly natural range, there is a slab of white marble that has been embedded into the mountains. It could be natural, it could be placed there for reasons that you don't really get, but it looks very natural. There is on the side that you would be coming from, there is not really a beach, but there is a coastline, and you make it to the coastline and dock successfully. You don't dock inside of the town because there is actually a ramp that slopes steadily upwards into the city. There's caravans coming to and fro outside and inside of the city. There's like a din of a marketplace. There's several farms on either side of the sloping, like curved entrance into the actual town itself. So it's almost like the suburbs of Sharnwick. And it seems to be like a little farming community. Inside, it is much more of a brilliant city that rivals Hagermar, but not quite as nice or quite as big. So you have the day. You managed to dock the ship excellently. Bryn, you helm the charge as you are now proficient in nautical vehicles.
Nice. Before we disembark, Blossom will disguise self as human Blossom again, just for good measure.
Okay.
I don't know. Should we hit the local taverns and ask around?
It's probably at least not a bad place to start. We can get some lodging and stuff at least. Yeah, let's go find something. King Jax, do you need to say goodbye to your new friend?
BRB. So King Jax goes and says farewells and says, I'll catch up with you later.
She says, I'll be in town for a while if you need anything.
Sweet. So King Jax comes back. All right, that's not what anyone thinks. Yes, it is what everyone thinks it is. Okay. All right, now that that's out in the open, let's go fuck them up.
Well, let's try to get a little information before we just go barging in. We're on their home turf now, Let's try to keep a low profile, y'all.
We still don't know what they are.
No, but it's not good. We know that much.
But I would like to know before we wander in.
Yeah, we gotta do a little, some reconnaissance. Let's get some lodgings and we'll, see what we can hear and whatever. I don't know, maybe we can just ask some questions.
Okay, so you ascend the sloping ramp up into the city, and you do see that there not only are there caravans, but there are several serpents, as they're called. They have a green, basically a rattlesnake with fangs as their crest on their brooches. A few of them look you up and down, and they look and they're like, we don't need to check them. They don't have a caravan, and they just kind of walk through. Behind you quite a ways, you do hear a ruckus when Bliss walks up, and people run over for her autograph and things like that.
Blossom rolls her eyes.
Yeah, so you continue on up the ramp, and what's up?
I'm gonna use my hat to disguise myself, too, because Victor and Persephone are quite familiar with me. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself look like a tiefling.
Cool. Boom. All right, so you make it into the city. I do not have a Roll20 map, but I will next week. Essentially, this city has several districts. It is pretty large. One of the main pulls of the city is there is a fighting pit that is nationally renowned. It is called the Halls of the Black Sun. And
It's pretty badass.
it's a competition day. Pretty much every day is. And you quickly pick up throughout the city, town criers are saying, basically the people that want to become a serpent have to survive the arena against the Black Sun. You don't pick up what the Black Sun is or who it is or anything, but it's essentially a contest.
What was that?
What was that?
Sounds like something we should check out. I want to know what the hell this Black Sun thing is. Sounds menacing.
Yeah.
Do we know what the... Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Do we know what the serpent is when they're referencing the serpent?
Just the Mercenary Guild, the serpents of the Mercenary Guild. Basically, this is their last test to become a mercenary.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
Right,
They're like the official mercenary guild of
Yeah.
I was thinking serpent more as in like the biblical sense there.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Blossom would like to find out, when the next, I guess, match that would be is exactly. So.
What's going on today?
Like what time? Like she just wants to make sure we get the
gotcha.
information so we can go.
Right. About an hour or so you pick up through the streets.
Alright. Well, it's enough time to go get some lodging and then make our way.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's find an inn or something.
Yeah.
Okay. The first inn you see is called the Bridgebrooks. Bridgebrook Inn. It is essentially a conglomerate of 8 taverns that are connected by bridges, and they're just nice little hotels, basically.
All right. Well, I'll head on in.
You head into the the bar, and you see a half-orc man with a silver ponytail and an eye patch over one eye, but there's an eye drawn on the eye patch. This is a familiar figure to you all. This is the individual who scammed you out of money in the in Carnival. This is Cram.
I have all his shit in my portable hole.
Yeah, that's the very same guy.
Blossom's like, we're not gonna stay here, but I'm fucking coming back later tonight. Finish the job. I don't really want to give this fucker any more of our money.
Agreed.
I mean, I assume it's a big city, right? So there's probably
yeah.
like other places.
Oh yeah, there's more.
We can try to ask some information or something if y'all want.
So as you're kind of exiting and you're having this little conversation, there's a individual standing by the doors. He's a plump man. He's wearing he's a human man. He has long brown shaggy hair. He's wearing like a gray coat with some like fingerless gloves essentially, and he's kind of looking on at you all. He's very greasy. And he's like, "Oh well, if you're new around here, I am the extraordinaire of showing tourists around the place. For just a few coins, I'd be happy to find you a tavern."
I do not trust this guy.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, I'm not
Definitely
saying-
not this guy.
Blossom will thieves cant this shit to him. And just, sort of smiling politely and be like, oh, that might be, wonderful, but, our, like, actual conversation, she'll be like, you got any place nice and, safe, unnoticeable, maybe we might be able to go?
He does not speak thieves' cant, so you convey all of this
alright.
non-verbally to
Worth a
him, and he just
try.
kind of stares at you blankly.
All right. Oh, only one way to find out if somebody knows it. So, all right. So if he doesn't bite, then like she would have just sort of like had everything freeze, so it's not like super unusual.
Sure.
But we'll just be like, I mean, I don't know if we need a full tour, but if you got a couple of places maybe you could recommend, and I'll like slide him a silver.
Thank you. That's very kind. Well, if you don't like the cut of the Bridgebrooks, then perhaps you would like to stay in the Sticks.
How's the clientele over there?
Oh, much better than this place, if you ask me.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
Yes,
Oh.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I'll be like, all right, sounds good to me. What do y'all think?
I mean, anywhere other than where this guy is better than the.
All right, let's give it a try.
So he takes you to the Sticks. It is in the lower area of town, and it is right next to the Crescent Stage. It is a large performing area that perhaps Bliss will be performing at. And he takes you into the Sticks. It is a little tiny rundown ass tavern. And there is an older woman standing behind the bar, and she's like, "Oh, customers, great!" And she comes out with like a cane, and she's wobbling. She's like, "How can I help you?" And this place is absolutely empty.
I mean, it's still fine by me. It's not that other guy's. Hey there, ma'am. I think we're just looking for some lodgings for the night at least.
Of course, anything you want. I will 1 gold a room. We'll keep it simple.
All right, sounds good. 5 rooms, please. Blossom will pay for everybody's room.
Nice. All right. Well, there's 5 upstairs. Roy, if you would, and she talks over to the guy who showed you here. Would you go prepare the rooms, dear? He's like, of course, mother, and he gives her his silver.
That's cute.
You get the sense that he's just sitting outside of more popular taverns to
Trying
drive
to bring people in.
business to
I'm
his
fine
mom.
with that.
Yep.
Blossom wants to stay unnoticed, so.
Mhm.
All right.
Are you
if
headed to
we-
the tournament today?
Oh yeah, we were thinking about going to check it out. It's our we're new in town.
Nice. Well, good. I think you should. It's quite the competition today.
Oh yeah, what makes you say that?
Well, it's one of the few times that Victor and Persephone come out of their manor to see the public, and everyone just loves them here. So everyone's so excited to see them again.
That sure is exciting. You know,
I can show you the way if you need to.
Oh, that might be really nice. You mind giving us some time to just sort of settle in, I guess?
Of course. And if Roy doesn't get the rooms to your liking, you just let me know.
Oh, I sure will. My name's Daisy, by the way. It's so nice to meet you.
My name is May.
Oh, man. It's just a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Of course. Well, you go on up, and I'll have Roy show you over.
All right. Blossom wants to take a minute when she gets to her room to check that fucking blood compass for Breezy again.
Okay. Breezy is to the... Hold on.
Right? Because it's
The-
like she's been moving around the continent at this
Yeah.
point, so Blossom's trying to, like, figure it out.
Right, she is to the west of you, so the opposite direction than she has been.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
she's either been moving a lot, or you moved past her, is essentially what I'm
Okay.
going to say with that.
Sounds good. All right. Blossom was just kind of like, ah, shit. All right. Go back out and join the others.
Okay.
All right. Who's ready to party, I guess? This should be a good fucking time. Are y'all ready? Let's just try
Yeah,
to get...
let's go.
Whose
Let's just try to
version
get
of-
some information, but
whose version of partying are we doing?
for once, actually not mine.
None of ours.
Nobody's. Yeah, this is the most facetious party in the world.
But we do get to watch violence.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for once, hopefully we'll just be getting to watch it. But I don't know if Victor and Persephone are gonna be there, y'all.
Do you think
keep
they
your
can?
eyes open.
Do you think they could see through this? And he's like, gesturing towards tiefling jacks, teeth jacks.
Chief Jacks.
I mean, I think it's possible. They could see through, through mine too. So
Oh, beans.
Let's not waste time. Let's hurry. I
Yeah.
want to get this over with.
me too.
Right, so you head towards the halls of the Black Sun. There are children running through the streets, excited. It's just wall-to-wall traffic, kind of like you're headed into a sporting event in real life. There's just crowds and crowds of people. There are people waving banners and flags back and forth of their favorite fighter. Most of them are of the Black Sun. It is just a simple the black background with like a half sun on it. And you get the sense very fast that he or she or they is the hometown favorite. And everyone is, as you get closer, you hear Black Sun being chanted. And everyone's really hyping this individual up. So you get in, Roy shows you the way, and he kind of disappears, and he's like, "It has been a pleasure. I will see you back at the Sticks." And he kind of gives a half bow and goes under the bleachers to kind of pawn some items off. And you all get in for like 1 gold each.
And this is a cheap trip.
Yep, it's a good tourist destination. And you get
That's why Bliss is here.
a pretty good front row seat. There is a grandstand on the north side of the Colosseum with thrones on it, and you see Victor and Persephone are seated above everyone else.
Do they, are they alone? Do they have, bodyguards with them? What's their sort of entourage deal?
There is nobody really with them. They're just kind of hanging out. There is one individual with them, but it's not. It's a bodyguard, I guess, but it's not like they need it, I guess.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like too cocky, almost.
Blossom's just, trying to get like a lay of lands and defenses, and as always, is like waiting for like a family member to pop up again or something. So.
Yeah, there's one hooded bodyguard who's standing behind them.
This
How
is the
far-
moment in the Western when we're all like waiting for the bad guys to see us.
Hand over our guns. How far away are they?
Probably about 120 feet.
I could probably get a guiding bolt.
Everyone's like, what's my range?
What's my guiding
How
bolt?
far can I
120
throw this
feet?
fucking ball?
That.
And then there's Adrian just like looking at her sword.
Right?
Adrian's like,
mood.
if I can jump that far.
Oh wait, I have Eldritch Blast now. Ha!
I have guiding bolt. The range is 120 feet.
They are too far away for me to cast Detect Thoughts on them.
Oh, bummer.
So you wait a while. There's a few like preliminary matches of like underlings fighting and like low-level gladiators, and they do fight to the death here, so it is very brutal. And everybody seems to chant. You see Victor and Persephone clap as the victor is crowned. And then the crowd goes silent, and there is a dome that is put over the entire
like that?
Colosseum.
Thanks, I hate it.
And all the doors are kind of sealed, and then there's like this, like everyone starts like moving their feet on the ground, and there's this like buildup of sound as in the side of the Colosseum the double doors are burst open by a hoof that has pushed through it, and you see in front of you this large gray minotaur, and he is wearing this belt with the symbol of the black sun on it. He has many tattoos across his back that are like over his fur, essentially, just these patterns of interlocking rings and fur on him. He's got the classic bull ring in his nose, and instead of two horns, he has a third one kind of growing out the back, so it's almost like a crown of minotaur horns. And he has these deep, dark eyes, pupilless black eyes, and in his hands he has two flails, and he's just slowly spinning them. Long story short... What's up?
Adrian leans over to King Jax. My money's on him.
Yeah, I would probably, if I was a betting. Wait, why did you put money on this match?
Not yet. Okay, who do you think would win? Could I take him?
All right. Well, we haven't seen the other opponent yet. We probably should.
You could kick his ass, Shield Mom.
So you wait
I
a while.
appreciate that. Thank you.
He's definitely smaller than a Balgura.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And a woman with spear and shield and a golden circlet for a headband and red hair down her back braided in a pattern comes out of the opposite end, and she's hitting her spear on her shield to try to intimidate him, but it's just like not working. The crowd is definitely on the Black Sun's side. Long story
my money's
short,
still on the Minotaur.
it does not last long, and you get the sense for the reason they call him the Black Sun is because the dome opens just a little bit where the sun is, right before he finishes the job, and that's the last thing that they see before the dome closes on them. Everybody goes crazy and cheers as he just drags this body back towards the doors where he came out of, and that is the match. And yeah.
Bryn did not watch this. She spent the whole match watching Victor and Persephone.
Okay, make an insight check.
It's only a 10.
Okay, I mean, they, just because you're skilled in the arcane, they don't look to be fully there. This could definitely be an illusion.
Okay, I'm observant and I can read lips, so if they ever say anything.
They don't say anything just because of the nature of them being an illusion, but they're not physically here.
Kindex.
Something.
Victor and Persephone are not here. That is not real.
So they're just an illusion. So they're not all beings.
Yeah.
All beings. Where are they then?
Probably in their castle or wherever they stay.
True. Good point. Well, then I guess this is pretty brutal for such a civilized place.
Yeah, I do not feel well.
I think we should get out of here.
As you two are having this conversation, people are like getting up to leave, but they're like uncomfortably close to you. They're kind of like bumping into you, like nudging you. They're like a little like rude. And you take it as being rude at first, but they're being a little weird and too close.
Yeah, I want to stand up and like tap I'm gonna pick someone who looks pretty harmless.
Okay.
Tap them on the shoulder and be like, excuse me.
Okay, you tap this young frail woman. You kind of tap her on the shoulder, and she turns around. She's like, "Yes, can I help you?"
Hi, we are pretty new in town. Is this sort of thing like a regular occurrence? And while I'm talking to her, I want to try and like see if I can figure out what's wrong. Is she under some kind of thrall or trance or something?
Okay. Make an insight check, or Arcana, either one, whatever you're better at.
14.
Okay, 14. She's like, "Well, every other day, the Black Sun fights. Every day we have tournaments, but the Black Sun needs to recover." So what you get with your check is that she is, again, the nature of you. She's not living.
Oh, so she's undead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And Bryn, you kind of look
starting-
around, and you get the sense from a lot of individuals.
What manner of undead? Is she a zombie or a...
It's kind of hard to tell with
Something else.
your role, but
I mean-
they're definitely
I'm a
undead.
necromancer, though. It's kind of my area of expertise.
I will give you, they're definitely not zombies, and they're definitely not skeletons.
White.
They're no simple
Are they
form.
vampires?
They could be.
Okay.
Bryn, what's going on?
Need to leave here right now.
As you say that,
Oh!
illusionary Victor stands up, and he's like, "Now to our real special guests. Best of luck."
I knew this was gonna happen!
And you watch as this entire Coliseum, the entire stadium just turns towards you. And there's like thousands of people looking at you right now. And the Black Sun himself has walked into the Coliseum, and he just points one of his flails menacingly at you. And we're not going to do it tonight, but the next words I'll say is time to roll initiative.
Jeez.
Is that?
Oh, no.
Let's
I
head
feel
here.
like-
Oh, I knew this was coming.
I feel like as this happens, as everyone is turning their heads towards us, Adrian's like got a coin pouch out and is about to start making a bet, and he's like,
Adrian's bookie's like about to bite her in the neck.
"Okay, I changed my mind. Money on me."
600 down.
Kane Jax will hit the maul out, smack it against the ground, take his thoroughfare, light it up. All right, friends, I'm with you always.
Yeah, Blossom will drop her disguise self, like, as shit is getting real, just like, fuck!
Ajax, they're vampires. You're gonna need holy magic.
Oh, I've got plenty of that. Don't worry.
All right, and that's where we'll wrap it tonight.
Oh, you're the worst, Chris.
Yeah. But I let you romance an NPC before I killed you.
Yeah. At
That's
least you
true.
got, like, you got smooched before.
Mhm.
Hey, this is how he goes. This is how he goes.
Okay.
Chris giveth and Chris taketh away.
Yeah.
At least I got TP laid before I got TP paid.
Yep. That's a shirt.
That's a
amazing.
clip right there.
That's a Redbubble shirt.
That's a shirt. That's going on the merch.
All right,
I'll wear
well,
it.
let's go around and plug. Thank you all for playing. It was a fun night. Kate will be joining us next time. She just had to work some overtime tonight, so she'll be back. Let's start with Lucy.
I play here. I play Cat Steel over on Steam Spell. I'm going to be in the Curse of Booty Island one shot this week. Very excited, resurrecting an old character that I cannot wait to revisit. And I am the DM of Elsewhere on the first Tuesday of every month, so that'll be next Tuesday. And the final episode of my podcast, Odyssey Exploration and Research, just came out on the 30th. So please go listen, rate, review, share.
Sick. Sam.
Hello everyone, I am Sam. You can find me at the Samwisest on Twitter. I am Samwise_GameG here on Twitch. I'm a disability advocate and a TTRPG streamer. You can find me mostly here at Chromatic Chimera. I'm in our other Wednesday game, Steam Spell. I'm also in Elsewhere, which I'm super excited for. And on Mondays, you can see me back here with No Initiative for our Eberron game, Dead Skies by Night. I'm also a co-producer over at Heroes Without Limits, and I GM Tales from Thra, a Dark Crystal set game. We are scheduled to have a session tomorrow. I'm gonna have to see how my technology and how I'm feeling is holding up, but check us out if nothing else. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. And I think that might be all that I've got right now. That's like, I can talk about at least.
Suspect. All right. Abby.
Hello, let me tell you about a thing. That thing is CouchCon, and CouchCon is happening. CouchCon, we are pre-gaming for CouchCon all this week, and any bits and subs you donate go to Doctors Without Borders. Starting on Friday night at 9 p.m. EST, Alex here is going to be DMing the first official game of CouchCon, The Curse of Booty Island. And then all day Saturday and all day Sunday, we have events across 4 different channels, which is going to be incredible. So you can check out if you check out our Twitter, you can see the information for it and the website to go check out the schedule, as well as our virtual vendor hall. And we have over 50 vendors, and they're all like small businesses or crafters in the TTRPG community, and many of them are offering exclusive discounts for the event. So go check it out, hang out here, donate. It's gonna be great.
All that stuff's also down below in our little info section where you find all our other stuff. That's got all the links you need.
That too.
Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. You probably know me as Mr. Puddins. I live here. I am Stream Daddy. So as you know, next week we'll be back with Steam Spell on that is the the 8th. We are continuing the adventures of the Star Touched in the world of Everin, where Azor Bale resides. Yeah, we dropped that truth bomb tonight. Anyway, come hang out for that. That's going to be a good time. As you know, I am DMing the Curse of Booty Island one-shot. I will also be in the Witcher one-shot that, what's Mustang's Twitter
Mustang's
handle?
Art.
Mustang's Art. And we got a special guest, Doug Cockle, the guy who voiced Geralt in the video games, is going to show up for it. It's going to be really cool. I'm resurrecting Don Mazuka from Steam Spell for this one shot. So I'm going to have a professional voice actor. You're going to be talking like this. It's going to be great. And then Sunday, Chris and I are going to be doing a little DM chat about the differences of DMing home games and in-person games and stuff like that versus streaming. It's something that I see a lot of people ask about, but there's really no guide to it. So Chris and I are going to chat about that. But yeah, come hang out, check out our stuff. We got some new stuff coming out this month. It's all going to be in Discord.
Thanks. I'm Chris. I obviously DM this game, so thank you all for joining us. I am sorry that I just put you in a coliseum with a bunch of undead.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I play...
I'm not sorry at all.
I play in 2 games next week. I play in Elsewhere and Steam Spell. I play Bellinor, the High Elf Barbarian, in Elsewhere. And then Krukazel, the Dragonborn Druid, in Steam Spell. They are both great games. I'm really excited for next week. We get a lot of tabletop RPGs. And as everybody said, CouchCon is this weekend. Me and Alex are doing a chat, like he said, so come on for that. Especially if you're trying to start tabletop role-playing game stream of yourself. I think that we'll dive into some topics that might be interesting for people who are new to it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now, unless we want to talk about super special things.
You're going to be in Booty Island, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm also going to be in Curse of Booty Island. I'll also be resurrecting an old character who is an NPC in this game, so yeah.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Go for it.
Table Talkies tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST. I talked with the entire cast of Critical Bits, the podcast. So come check it out. It was a really fun conversation, and if you like comedy and body horror, be there.
What a
God
combo.
combo.
Last thing, I am going to be running a City of Mist game here on Fridays, so that's a fun new announcement.
Yes, that's what I meant when I said new things.
Yeah, me too. We're still debating a time, but it will be Friday night somewhere between the ballpark of 4 and 7 EST for a start. I'm really excited for that. We've got a lot of fan favorites of the channel joining us. We've got Alex and Sam playing in it, and we have Nevi and Cindy from Blue Rose. And I believe that's their first time on our stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Not
think
like
so.
ever, but like on our stream, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm trying to find. It's new. Chimera is their Twitter handle, so go give them some love as well. They are first time on Chromatic Chimera, so that'll be really fun. And that's the crew for now. And again, I will be emceeing that. It is very. Has to do with fairy tales and legends and noir in a modern day setting, and the character creation system is really in depth and great, so I'm really excited for that. And thanks to DMS for putting out a really cool game. I'm excited to do it. Been wanting to do it a long time, so I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
Me too. Other than that, we're gonna leave you and we're gonna go raid somebody. Yeah.
I got it. We're gonna go Noir Nigma, a Chromatic Chimera regular. He's streaming.
Perfect.
We're gonna go raid who he's
Yay.
streaming with.
Awesome. All right. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks, everyone.